Yeah, she's calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline calling in, so they have a female veteran off her medication. She's over at the safe haven. Detective 12, we'll check that one out.
6 1 bullet, 2 1 start, 50 shots.
Officer still stands for talk? No. Offender in custody? Thanks. Anyone else close, might just zero something, let me know. First time by. 10-4.
Oh my lord. Oh my lord, I can't believe this photo just came out. I'm a little confused though. I'm a little confused at the clarity of the photo, and I'll show you guys here in a second. Good evening, everybody.
Hi.
Hi,
Oh,
CJ. Hi, Audrey.
Hi, Kathy. Hi, CJ.
good evening. Oh my gosh. You know, I don't know if maybe it's because of the scanning. I don't want to think it is. Here, let me show let me show you guys. I can't believe the difference in the clarity. So let me pull up this. What did you think of the picture when it came out? Let's see. Let's see here. Here it is right here. Here, let me switch it around so we can zoom it up. All right, so you see this. All right. See how clear it is, I guess. One thing that surprises me though is, and I'll show the video when I was driving there at night. When you're driving there at night, it's crazy how that area is lit up because there's really not that much light when you're driving there in real life at that time. It's pretty dark. So it's a pretty good camera when it comes to night vision. I'm just surprised at the clarity. And I'm going to show you another photo from that same camera to show you what kind of clarity it should have had. So I'm a little confused at that. So I don't know if it's with the scanning of the photo to the court document website, but you would think that scanners, I mean, it's 2025. I mean, scanners are pretty good, they're pretty good.
Yeah. But
so I'm a little shocked.
But we have to keep in, you brought up an excellent point right there. We have to keep in mind that this is scanned and then it's on the internet as well. So it might not be as clear as the original photo that they have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, it's a technical world. Everything updates, a few times a year when it comes to electronics and technology and things. And if you can scan, a high quality photo, let's be honest, you come on, let's go to Walgreens, right? Let's go to Walgreens. Let's go to their film department. You know what I'm saying? Let's scan something and let's copy it. It turns out pretty good, and that's at Walgreens. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna show you the difference. It's quite alarming, really. But I'll show you that in a second. I want to say what's up to everybody. What's up, Nina? I see Nina in there. Thank you for all you do for Idaho 4. What's up, Kimberly? Shout out to you. Let me see here. Mark and Betty. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words, Mark and Betty. What's up, Aaliyah? And hello to you, Joel. Selena. There's Busby. Number 12. Tom Brady right there. Tracy. Oh, we got 2 of them. They're connected at the soul tonight. But yeah, and here's their links too. I'll drop them throughout the show. I'll show you the other photo. And Yoli will be joining us here in a little bit. She's still working on some papers and stuff. And yes, prayers to Myrtle Beach. Holy, the fires going on out there. They're supposed to get rain tomorrow, so hopefully the rain can help. I guess they're 30% contained, and that's it so far. And it's been like a 2 or 3 days now, right? Something like that. It's kind of like what happened to California, but not in that huge catastrophe level. And plus, they know how to disperse their water to help save their communities, unlike California. But that's another day, another topic. So here, let me show you this other photo here. And we'll switch back and forth. Let me see here. Let's show you this one. All right. Now, to me, that's a hell of a lot better. And that's with the car driving away. So you have a lot of light in that area as well. But to me, it looks better. But this is what I don't understand, right? Because this is the photo that was put out. This was the photo that was put out to the public. What's up, Tabby Cat? This was the photo that was put out to the public. Here, let me move us so I can zoom up more for the audience.
Bolo, right? Those are the pics from the Bolo, CJ.
Yeah. This was the first pictures that they put out. Let me do that.
Stock images.
Stock photo.
Now
right?
we know why.
Well, yeah, now
grainy.
well, I mean, when it comes to this photo, it's like where'd it go? Right here. Oh yeah, that's Brian Koberger. Yeah. That's Brian Koberger.
No doubt.
I mean, look, you can see this. See, this is what y'all don't notice, right? You see only one silhouette, too, right? Because there's no tinted windows. And if there's that much light around that area, I imagine as the car drives by, you could probably even get a better silhouette photo because you don't have all that brightness coming at you, with the lights. So if you waited till about right here, where the lights aren't necessarily pointed towards the camera, because if you look at the vehicle, it had just turned, so it's at a slight angle, which leads the headlights to the camera where they're getting their photo from. It's going to distort the image a hell of a lot more than until the car would get here. Then those headlights and the light shining is heading down the road for the most part. And you won't have that distortion or the pixelation in the photo. So I believe this, I'm going to tell you right now, if they didn't get a photo where this car was like over here, I'm sorry.
Well, what I'm not understanding is if we go back to the PCA, and all of this is talked about pages 5 and 6, if anyone wants to look it up, and I have it here, I can read it too. There was a lot. It was going up and down, king and queen, right? Doing the 3-point turn. There should be, I'm wondering, why is Ann Taylor choosing this photo and not the 3-point turn? We get this car at all angles, and it had to have come from the 11-12 camera the 3-point turn, right? Because that's king and queen right there.
This is the camera. I'll show you. You know, this is the camera that you're getting it from. Where's it at? This is the camera that you're getting it from. You got the little pumpkins.
Right.
Little pumpkins. This was just released, wasn't it?
Just, I mean, within the last couple of hours, it was a document drop. It was pages. There's actually another photograph that I just messaged you, CJ. It's on page 3, taken at 4:20 at the time that the PCA says the car was speeding out of the neighborhood. You'll have that in your messaging. But yeah, this was just document drop. It was one of the motions in limine that Judge Hippler just released.
This is nuts. Okay, this is so nuts. Oh my lord! If this isn't manipulation at its dumbest, because it's not manipulation at its finest, this is manipulation at its dumbest. Give me one moment here while I save this photo and explain my brain. Let me see here. Hold on one second. Oh my gosh. These
were in the motions in limine number 12 regarding make and model of suspect vehicle. It was filed on the 24th of February, which was the deadline for the in limine motions, but Hippler just let this one get released today.
Well, thank God, because I'm about to break some shit down. Okay, give me one second. I got to make sure I can flip. All right, I can flip back and forth. All right, hold on one second. Now let me make sure I got this photo up.
I'm just wondering, how many thousands of hours do you think is going to be analyzing this photo? Look at how much time over the past 2 years was spent analyzing the Linda Lane parking lot and, the gas station. Now, this is the actual car from the PCA. People are going to lose their minds, analyze it back and forth, blow it up.
This is the bunch. Okay, listen. Check this out, okay? Remember how this is, oh my gosh, this is good. Okay. You remember how I just said they should have taken the photo where the car and the headlights were here, right?
Right.
Because it gets rid of the headlights. You could, and you gain a lot of that clarity that I showed you with the other photo of the same camera that had no car in it. Okay.
Right.
So now I'm going to say the same thing when it comes to this photo. You should have taken a photo where the car was over here, not where you have the tail end blocked up, because to me, that seems like, number one, it don't look like a white car. Let's be honest. It looks like has some kind of color to it because it's a darker shade. Okay. Look at this car. Does this car look like a white car? No, but when you look at the same area of here, it's the same color of car. Okay, so obviously it's not a white car, because when we come back to here, don't it look totally different than this car right here? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So this car right here, I don't understand how that could even be the same car that's leaving. Okay. I don't understand.
Very hard to see that. I mean, you think that first one's bad. The second one's worse. I'm still trying to figure out if there's even a car in that picture.
There is. There's a car right here. But again, it's the same.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
It's the same color as the car that's right here. It's the same color. Look at it. It's the same spot, same color, same light reflection, because it's not having the headlights on the car on the side. It's getting the same reflection that it's getting from the camera from the night vision. Same color. So when you go back to this car, is this car the same color as this car?
I don't know.
No. No. It's a completely different car. Manipulation at its dumbest.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, I think Anne had said as much at one of the recent court hearings, where she says they just took a bunch of pictures and strung it together to say that it was this one continuous
Right.
loop, and it's not. So
Well,
yeah.
we knew that. We knew that from the PCA because remember, there's a
Okay.
certain portion we're paying. There's no video at all, so he's
Oh,
got to
yeah.
put 2 and 2 together, and
You
he's got to
wanna-
say, "Oh, it's probably this over here, based on my experience. That's where they would edit it or something like that."
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna play something from back in the day, okay? This was a video. This exactly my wrench, and check this shit out, because this was a video that I did a long time ago. Okay. And when Vinny was going over the DoorDash route on Court TV back then, right? I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
I'm sitting here and they had the route. We read the PCA. We read the PCA from January 5th when it was dropped. And once we started digging into it, I'd say about a week and a half later, after really digging it, because at first you were in shock when Cobra was arrested. So you were like, finally, right? But then when you started to go through the PCA and you're like, this is confusing. And this doesn't, I don't know, something stinks. So then you start going into it and then you're like, wait a minute. So you start to question things, okay? So this was streamed 1/7/23. This was just 2 days after. Just 2 days after the PCA was released, okay? I already dug into the PCA. Okay, I was 2 days in. I'm sitting there going, this don't make no sense. So when Vinny P on Court TV, shout out, we love him in his pastel ties. They started to actually show the diagram on the screen of the thing, and as I'm sitting there listening to them explaining it, I'm like, what is this, Joe Dirt delivering a pizza? Like, what is going, and so they did this was before I made it out to Idaho. All right, I got my own footage when I went out there, but this was before I made it out to Idaho, and I'm like, here, let me use their footage and show you guys. I'm gonna play it out. I'm gonna give you guys the lost DoorDash driver. Because to me, when you from the first time when you're looking into the crime, because at first I was looking into Paradise Path and how you could get connected to 1122. So I was looking at a lot of the bird's eye view of the layouts and the maps and the routes and all that stuff. And that's when I seen that 1122 King Road, it gave a person that had maybe never been there before, it took you up King Road, but it gave you like a loop-de-loop over 1126 and 1118, and expected you to like walk through those two houses' yards just to get to the sliding glass door on the second floor. That's what it gave you on Google Maps. And so somebody going up this road, they realized, wait a minute, this is obviously not it. And so you're driving up here, but then it's confusing you because it's telling you to go back over there, which is where I think the person got the 3-point turn, because they drove up. They're like, where in the hell is this house? Because it says 1122, but I'm on Queen Road, but it says 1122 King Road, but there's no 1122 King Road that I see. It just makes perfect sense. So when I see that car, listen, the first one coming in, okay, they got to have other photos, chop, every frame where they have, clarity gets better and better. But if this is supposed to be the exit photo, this does not look like the car that was put in there. So then if that's what they're really going off of when it comes to this route, and if nobody's familiar with it, they show the route, they explain the route, and you'll see what I mean. And I'll play a lost DoorDash driver with their footage, and you'll see, like, yeah, that could be definitely a lost DoorDash driver, especially with that exit photo. That don't even look like the same car to me. This is what I wonder. How does, because remember, it was the FBI, that the 30-year experience vehicle profiler. What I hope to God there's other photos.
You would hope, right? Oh my gosh. You never know with this case because how ridiculous it can be.
Because if, listen, when they said 2011 to 2013, I believed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, because we all heard that the FBI got upset with the investigation, especially Moscow PD. And that's when the middle of December is when they started doing their, it's our Fry, it's our investigation. We're the lead of the investigation. We invited these other people in. This is our decision. This is us. And then middle of December, he let you know, hey, we had to get rid of some of the, for the holidays, even though it's 2 weeks from Thanksgiving and 2 weeks until Christmas. For the holidays, we're going to get rid of some of the people that were working on the team, and we're going to add some new ones in, Right, okay, December 16th, 17th. Yeah, we're going to right in the middle. Okay, for the holidays when you just had one and you will have one, makes no sense. And I think it had to do something with, I wonder if they even looked at this photo. Because I don't see, listen, I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't see, when it comes to these two photos, I don't see how you can get the same vehicle. I really don't.
Well, according to Detective Brett Payne, that second photo there, where's the second one? Is that the second one at 4:20?
Yeah.
That is Brian Koberger speeding out of the neighborhood at 4:20 a.m. And I got it right in front of me. It is page 5 of the affidavit of probable cause. Sorry if you can't see it, CJ. That's what he says.
Oh yeah, I know. Because when it comes to offer, right? This route that they took. I'm gonna show the video. This was something from just a couple days after. What's up, Cece? This was on from just a couple days after the PCA was released. It already didn't make sense. And listen to the route for yourselves that's described in the PCA.
And on the right side, you will start to see the crime scene come up on the right side. So this is the crime scene come up.
So this house right here to the right is the same house where that camera came from. You see the porch. Yep. You see the porch.
Yep.
Right up there to the right of that front door is where the picture came from. So this would be where the person's car is in the first picture.
Ah, right about there.
Okay. Right here. Yep. But hit it maybe just before, because it was still slightly turning just a little bit. You can see it at an angle in that photo.
We'll start to see the crime scene come up on the right side. So this is the view driving eastbound on Queen Road towards the dead-end apartment buildings. And on the right, you're going to see here the crime scene home. This is all the investigators' vehicles that were here earlier today collecting those mattresses and boxes. And you would continue on, of course.
There's the house.
I just don't see. It didn't make sense. 1723. It's got to be from one of the other houses. It has to. I don't know.
Going straight to turn around to come back. But that's a view of what passing by this home would be. And then again, this is video collected from these neighboring homes in this area, pinpointing this white Hyundai Elantra that they say Brian Koberger was driving starting at 3:29 a.m., making these passing drive-bys, Vinny.
Quick question, because I don't want to get to the rest of this as well. As you drive past and you see those windows, which floors are that? Which bedrooms do you see as you're doing that pass by? Because if this car is casing the joint to see if anyone's awake, whose windows are you seeing?
Absolutely. So there's one way in and one way out of this road. So this is the only way in to this home. This what you're looking at right now. Again, moving eastbound on Queen Road. You're going to see the house come up on the right side
No,
here.
it's not. You can get to it through Linda Lane. I mean, it's a backwards, but there's another way to
Hold
get
on.
to it.
Let me know. Just say, hey, can you pause it real quick? That way, I didn't hear what you said. Go ahead.
Just said, no, it's not. There's another way to get into that neighborhood. You can cut through Linda Lane.
Yeah, you could. You could.
What she's saying, oh, there's only way in. You know,
It's well, I mean, it's a tight fit.
yeah, but we were led to believe for so long that this intersection right here at King and Queen was the only possible way to at least driving. I mean, if you're doing a bicycle or, you know, walking, it's a different story, but driving, but you could cut through, you know, you go down Linda Lane, you cut through the apartments and it'll lead you around.
Oh yeah.
You know that. You drove
I mean,
right, CJ?
yeah, even if you wanted, which would have been another option, because if the person that committed the crime didn't want to park behind the house, they literally could have parked right up on the street up above and went through the yard real quick and came right down and did their thing and walked through the middle of the yard. It's so dark up there.
CJ, and Audrey, since she mentioned the PCA, there's one point that has always bothered me. That's simply, and you talk about things not making sense. I'm going to pages 5 and 6. They state that, at least, well, Brett Payne, that's who wrote this, as we all know, that the crimes occurred, that law enforcement believes that the crimes occurred between 4 and 4:25 a.m. That's paragraph 1, page 5. And yet on paragraph 6, suspect vehicle 1 was seen speeding out of the neighborhood. It would have been at this time 4:20. Who's in the house how possibly could one perpetrator be responsible if the crimes occurred between 4 and 4:25 a.m. and you're saying that this is one suspect vehicle and is seen speeding out of the neighborhood 5 minutes before the end of the timeline? We've always asked that question. You and I and Audrey, we've had these conversations. No one seems to be picking up on that.
Well, I mean, the thing is you have to, you know, this is where, you know, I call out the hot dog steaks when I smell them. Because, you know, listen, I totally support and I shout out Ellie. You know, I've been shouting out Sumner County the last few shows like crazy with Sebastian Rogers' case.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to stuff that don't smell right, I have to tell people, hey, it don't smell right, no matter when. And it's one of the things. It's like, I'm sorry. Even like with this video back then on, you know, just a couple days after the PCA came out, I'm already going, something stinks.
Yeah, first read through. And then as you read through it more and you analyze it like Audrey did, I mean, she sat down with literally, I mean, we were on Twitter. She's sitting down with, you know, markers and pencil and a ruler. And when you do it, when you analyze that document, all 18 pages at that level, you really see how many errors are in it. And for this to be a capital case with these 4 students so horrifically unalived, I don't understand why there's so many errors in it. And that one pertinent to the timeline has always bothered me. How can you possibly say that the crimes occurred between 4 and 4:25 with suspect vehicle 1 seen speeding out of the neighborhood? And now we see the photograph apparently at 4:20.
Well, and another thing, when it comes to the photos in this route that they supposedly went before they committed the crime, you would be a fool to think that you would do the mistakes that you're doing just in this route.
Right.
And how they're telling you how this person went in and went out. That right there, there's no way in hell you don't leave more DNA at the crime scene. There's no way in hell you don't leave liquid DNA at the crime scene. There's no way in hell you might not even get away with unalive 4 people at that crime scene, because if you're that clumsy before you even get there, and what I mean by clumsy is if you're the type of person that is going to commit that kind of crime, whether you prepared it or not, if you show up like that, you deserve to get busted, because you don't know what you're doing in the first place. Because if that's your little route going around the whole freaking place, people are automatically going to see you. And if you're trying to commit a crime and you're trying to get away with it, you're trying to make sure that people don't see you. If you're doing the dumb stuff where people will be like, "Hey, Betty, what is that drunk person doing all over the place?" Like, hello? Lights shining all up in everybody's freaking windows, muffler,
Right.
broom, 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 3-point turn in the middle of a freaking road. You have every reason for somebody that isn't asleep at that moment in time to look out their damn window and go, "Who the hell is that?" Before you even committed the crime.
You know, it goes back to, I mean, you know, it's so great to finally see these pictures. I mean, how
Oh,
long,
I know.
how much time from the minute that PCA came out, and they're just, it's doing 3-point turn, it's going up and down. And you're thinking, okay, they must have some really good photographs and some evidence here. You know, this is one of the principal reasons that got this guy arrested, was that he is the driver of suspect vehicle 1. So to final, and I, you know, have to play devil's advocate, because I look at things both ways. You know, that it could still be him. Why is Ann Taylor publishing this particular photograph when there is a photograph, an imagery of a 3-point turn that would capture the back now, you know, of the car? Maybe you're going to have the same glare when the front comes around, but I got to ask myself too, why did she select these 2 photos to put in her motion?
No, that's the listen, I'm not an expert, but I do pretty good when it comes to footage. You know what I'm saying? When it's at daytime, nighttime, you know, that's part of my gig. It's media. I'm telling you right now, this is why I zoomed in right here in this particular spot. It's not the same car. It's not. It's not.
So you're saying this car here at 420 is not the same car that in the 356 coming in?
That's what I'm saying.
Coming in.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, because when it comes to light exposure, this is why I'm not focusing on the roof, because it's a different light exposure. You're trying to compare the top of that roof to the top of that roof. I'm taking you to the simple front side of the car. Okay? And they're at the same height. They're at the same distance, the same height. And when it comes to the light exposure off of cameras, that determines a lot when it comes to the colors at night. And so when I'm looking at this car and the light from the headlights is showing straight ahead, you're not getting any kind of reflection going back to distort the image, except for right up front, right? You see this part right up front, how it's a lighter shade? It's because you're getting a little bit of that reflect back. But this right here, from here all the way down to here to where the tire's at almost, this right here is the same color as this right here. And so when you compare it to this photo and you're looking at these 2 cars again, now obviously you have light shining at the camera. That's why it's a little distorted. But guess what? This same area is what I'm focusing on right here, because that's not going to have but a little bit of reflection coming off, because you got the headlights shining at the house. It will reflect. You have the headlights shining off the front side. It will reflect. You have the headlights shining off the road. It will reflect. All of these different directions will reflect in a certain amount of way where it does change the color a little bit, but I'm not looking at necessarily how dark or light the shade of gray is. What I'm looking at is the comparison when it comes to, okay, are all these vehicles look like this one? This right here is a humongous difference from this right here. So this right here can be 20 shades darker. It could be 20 shades lighter. It isn't gonna matter because it's very obvious that this vehicle is a completely different color than this vehicle right here. So if I'm going back to this photo and I'm zooming in on the two areas, like I said, how is that the same vehicle that's pulling in?
Well, I think a lot of people are going to start now. They're really, there have been some amazing people that have spent so much time analyzing the Linda Lane footage, the windows, but I think there's plenty of opportunity here to compare those two windows because you got a pretty good, it's blurry here, but the first one, just the angle of the windows, would that be a 2016 Elantra? Would that be a 2013 Elantra as they first thought? Is it another car entirely?
It don't even look like it's the same height, okay, as the other cars. So let's go back. To me, it looks like a car that sits lower to the ground that looks like a hatchback. It looks like a hatchback. Okay, now watch. We're gonna go back here. Now see how you got this car. All right. You see where it's roughly about right here. Okay, when it comes to where the area it's at. There's a hill right there. So it's about right here in this area, okay? So let's just keep in mind, we got this, and then you see this little marker right here.
Yeah.
And then you got the first line on this building. So you see how I'm you got the first line, but as it's going down this way, this is what you also need to pay attention to. You see this road right here, and you can see it in my footage. As you turn, the road instantly starts to incline, okay? You can see it incline, right? So really, as this car comes up to up here, it should be at the line, and I'm so thankful that this building has these lines. This right here would be where the height of the roof is for that white vehicle as it's driving up the road. Let's go back to here. Does that look? It looks more like this. Not like this. It's coming downhill. I'm sorry. It looks like a completely different vehicle. The color already. You can debate. Yeah. You can debate the height of the vehicles, and now that this came out, I'm gonna dig even more, and I'm gonna break down some images and stuff with these two put together. But with this just coming out, this right here, you can't. I'm sorry. Media is one of my gigs. Lighting at night is one of my gigs. Clarity and angles and all this stuff is one of my gigs, and I'm telling you, this is not the same car that came in. This is a car in similar color to this vehicle right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why I said I hope that the 3-letter agency didn't see this photo, because if they did, it's like, yo, maybe I should apply. Right? What the heck?
What color do you think it is, CJ? What's your best guess?
Like a grayish.
Gray.
I don't know. It's not dark. Let me see. What color is that car? Hold on. It's got to be. Let me see here, because this is. Does it show that car's not parked there? I know there's another photo of that car being parked there. Hold on. Maybe I have it in my. Let me look at
Hello.
my document.
Hi,
Hi,
Yoli.
Hi.
Let me look at my documents here.
This is crazy.
That
Isn't
doesn't
it?
look white. That's not a white car.
That's what CJ was saying. He's opining that it's like
Silver?
maybe a gray color, maybe.
Silver and darker. Yeah.
Let me find out, because I think this car right here. Is this silver? But let me. I know I've seen it somewhere. I was going through all my photos to get these photos ready. And I know I've seen it. Here, let me play this for a second. This shows the, like I said, it was 2 days after the PCA came out. Vinny's on there explaining the whole DoorDash route. And I'm like, okay, this really doesn't make sense. Read the PCA for 2 days and it was like, okay, weird. Right? Weird.
Yeah.
Weird. This is weird. And then when they put the diagram on there, and you'll see it in a second. When they put that diagram on there, I was like, what? Because it's like, who in the hell? You see how this road inclines too? Yes.
Yeah.
It's like,
I was
who
just
the hell
noticing that.
would show up like this?
I mean, if
And
you're a skateboarder, could you imagine? I mean, that would be like almost the natural ramp coming down
Yeah.
that
Here.
street. I didn't realize it was that.
I
Let
didn't
Hi.
me,
either.
let me show you. Let me get into my. Let's see. Do you want daytime or nighttime?
Daytime, CJ, just so we can make sense of stuff.
All right. Let me see here. Okay, so daytime will be. Let's see. Here's a pretty nice day. Let me pick this one. All right, so let's skip forward. Let's skip forward. Let's see here. All right, so it's a pretty nice day. All right. So, as you turn right here. Now, that's a different vehicle than what was pictured there. It's a car that was in that same spot, but you can see how it starts to incline already. You're inclining. Right? But that would be leaving, which we didn't do. And then see those big tall trees? Yeah, I'm glad I can't. Here, let me go back. I want to explain the whole park the street up there and run down. Watch. So, and this is what was amazing to me, because see the crime scene tape that they have right there? It's all around the yard of 1122. The investigators only looked and investigated the area where the crime scene tape is at. There is no photos, no videos of them even searching these trees and backyards.
I know.
Right?
Yes.
None. So right there, you could easily park up there, pull off, and somebody, interesting lives up there. I'll just say that. If anybody remembers, we'll be getting into those people in a future show, trust me. But it's so dark there. I showed you guys at nighttime how dark it is. You can't see nothing. So when you're looking at that, you could literally park right over there, and nobody really noticed you. Now that those are steep hills, but at the same time, you could maneuver your way back through there, and who's to say that the weapon wasn't left there? So here, that's Linda Lane. Let me get past that. So you'll see how dark it is, and then I'll take you back to the trees. Yeah, that's a different car. Did you check out? Were you able? I know you're finishing.
Yeah, I saw the screenshot, and I mean, all I could see was a big bright light, and it looked like it was a white car, but I don't know. I mean,
oh yeah, coming in,
yeah,
That's
the only one I saw.
All right, take the headlights out. You see how dark it is? Okay, so when you're coming back here, ain't nobody gonna see you. And you're running through a couple yards that ain't going to take you but 30 seconds. And who says that something wasn't left up there or ditched or they didn't come through there? There's just, you don't know. But what I do know is them two cars ain't the same damn car. So when you're going back to the route that the person took to commit the crime, I'm sorry, if this was you going to commit a robbery, you would have like left because of a thumbnail when you tried to bust the door open. Yeah, I don't understand how somebody they approach the scene like this, but yet so effective inside. And I'm just saying that this could be Jimmy Two Corn, Jim Bob. You know what I'm saying? And if Jimmy Two Corn drove up this house, drove this route and went and committed the crime the same way, and I'm sitting there going, well, Jimmy Two Corn, I don't know how Jimmy Two Corn, approached the crime scene like Joe Dirt delivering a DoorDash pizza, couldn't find shit, and all of a sudden went in there like woof, Batman and took care of all the targets and left with nothing behind and nothing in the vehicle. What did he do? Fly away? I don't know. He's Batman, right? He's Batman. So this was 2 days after I read.
He's invisible.
He has to be invisible. He can fly. He's got amazing
hops on one foot.
Amazing cleaning skills. I mean, I'm telling you right now, like, dude, if you can clean a car like that, apply for MBA and shit like that, because they will definitely hit you up, bro. Because dang, they ripped the car apart. Nothing. Yeah, like John Wick, says Blackhawk. Exactly. Like John Wick, like going in there and shoot. Whoa. And doing it that quick and come on now.
Pam can rent him.
Right. Seriously, like you're missing out because it pays good. Trust me, it pays good when you know how to clean a vehicle like that. This is 2 days after. Listen to me. I'm gonna put it on mute for a minute so you guys can see this, and you'll see the diagram, and then you'll see me play the lost DoorDash driver, because to me it wasn't they called it a case out, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is like a lost DoorDash driver.
On the right side here, what you're going to see is you're going to see first the front door of the home. It's going to be hard because there's going to be all the law enforcement vehicles in front of the home, but you have the first floor with the front door where they're going in and out, and that would be one of the roommates, Bethany, on that floor. The second floor, if we have the front of the home, the second floor, the right window on the second floor would be Xana Kernodle's room, where Xana and Ethan would be. The left second floor window, I can even show you here behind me. You can see it. It's dark here on the second floor. That is the living room area of this home, where the first floor steps would come up, the living room area. On the back side of this second floor room, this living room area would be Dylan Mortenson's room on the second floor, Vinny. That gives you perspective. And then moving on up, of course, above this camera angle where I am would be the third floor, where Kaylee Gonzalez and Maddie Mogan would be at that time that car was passing by this home.
Absolutely. I want to show the folks at home some maps, because I know you have some more video to show us. Let's take a look at this map. This is, again, you see the crime scene. Let's zoom in on that crime scene. That's the home. And Shanley keeps talking about Queen Road. So at 4:04 in the morning, there's a fourth time that the suspect vehicle goes down Queen Road and then sort of turns around in front of that apartment complex, 500 Queen Road. Then you see it start to move forward and then stops. And they think it's either attempting to park or make some sort of a maneuver right in front of the car on Queen Road. But then it starts to move again and goes towards the intersection of King and Queen Road, and that's where it makes one of those 3-point turns, a K-turn. It turns around in that intersection and then heads back east on Queen Road, again towards the home. Now, Chanley, I know you put together some video showing all.
You can see my face. I'm just letting this all sink in. Like, wait a minute. Oh my gosh! 2 days after. This is so old. Contribution call out Sea Dog. Obviously, Brian. Love you too, buddy. And definitely Sea Dog. I gotta drop your Twitter link, man, because and Blackhawk too. Blackhawk does a lot of great work on Idaho 4 as well. So shout out to both of you guys. I appreciate you guys so much.
All of this, because this is.
I'm just like letting this shit sink in. Like, wait a minute. What? This is it. Just, you read it, but then when you see the like map on there, and you're like, okay, what? Wait a minute.
This is 404. This is when the car makes its final pass, and then it's time to break in.
I'm sorry. No. He already broke in at 4 o'clock, Vinny.
Well, sorry. Go ahead.
So, CJ, nobody. He's like, he's getting ready to break in at 4:04. No. According to Detective Brett Payne, the break-in already happened at 4 o'clock. The timeline is 4 to 4:25. These people don't read the documents.
That's why I'm still working on my intern files for a certain particular somebody that is just all over these different cases nowadays, especially recently in the last month. And it's like, holy crap, you're just relying on your intern notes. They get the notes from the intern, right. And they're like, oh, okay, these are the facts. All right, let's stick to the facts. And they read them off a notebook. And it's like, you gotta listen. You have to do your own homework too.
Right. It's not that hard. I mean, it's not like there's so much. I mean, we're starting now to get some documents, but it's not like, there's so many things that are under seal. You do a little bit of research. Just look at the PCA, the timeline, 4 o'clock to 4:25. That is the official timeline of the crime. So why is this guy saying at 4:04 he is getting ready to break into the house when the break-in already happened 4 minutes earlier?
Well, because it's 2 days after. I doubt Vinny sat down and, dug into the PCA like we did. He had his interns give him the information, and it's 2 days after. He covers a lot of cases. That's all I can say for Vinny.
It's like if these details, these are so crucial. The timeline is so crucial. What else are they getting wrong? We know because we've been following the case since the beginning, so we know what else they've been getting wrong. But I don't get how you have any right to go on a national program to not at least have the basics down. I think you owe that to these kids. To be able to say, okay, I know from the PCA because Brett Payne provided it to us, and as he told us recently, he is the lead detective, and he had been after 24 hours. How do you get the timeline wrong?
Well, this is not a show from last night. This is a show that was taking place in January of 23, where there was a lot of mainstream media misinformation being promoted because they weren't doing their homework. Right. They were relying on other people and Reddit threads and, all these different, gosh, you could get stuck in them for days. And how much did you really accomplish with actual proof and documentation? Not very much.
Not much,
Not very much. So that's why, because it's back then, because it's 2 days after the PCA came out. This is before we were all going, okay, Banfield, like this is really getting nuts. We're not even there yet when it comes to this episode from Vinny. So you'll notice Chanley actually corrects Vinny. There's a longer episode of this episode, and when you watch that episode, you'll see her correct him multiple times in that episode because he does not have his information correct. She did. And shout out to her because she did a lot of great work out there. Chanley Painter from Court TV. She did a lot of great work out there.
I'm really sorry that she didn't stay on the case. And now that we're 149 days from trial right now. You know, I count July 30th as the start of trial for Dyer. I hope people like her come back on this case because there's a lot of interest all of a sudden, you know, for months and months.
Well, it's all the
mainstream media kind of moved away from Idaho 4. And now that things are happening and we're talking about motions in limine and jury questionnaires, they're going to have a hearing on that soon. I wish that people like her would get back on this case and get him off.
She might when it comes to trial. And because she's going to other locations and reporting on other stuff that is a little farther ahead in the process. And so when you're doing that kind of work, you have to go with what is not to say that these other parts aren't important, but you have to go to the most important because there's only one of you, you know? So I see when the trial starts, I see her being out there every single day. Definitely. She's going to be, I guarantee she's going to be one of the head reporters out there when it comes to the trial. Guarantee it. Because she has done the best out of any of these mainstream media when it comes to reporting the factual information.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, I know that there's other Brian Enton seems to be, you know, a lot of people seem to think he is like the lead person for mainstream. I like her a lot. I remember her at a lot of these, and you're right. This is I didn't realize this is January 7th. This is only about 3-4 days after he was extradited back from Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
that's
just
how
a week.
Early this is.
Just a week. Yeah, he had only been arrested for a week, and on January 5th, 23 is when the PCA came out for public, and this is 2 days after. You know, so yeah, he's relying on interns. She's gonna be there to correct them. She's not gonna stop him like, no, Vinny, it was 4 o'clock. No, she wants, you know, they're trying to get through the segment of this part. It was one of those 45-minute episodes from back then. We'll have to watch it. I'll have to see where this episode was, and we'll watch it on one of our old note shows because I would like to. When we do those fresh old note shows, we're having Busby and Trey on there, and I'd like to show them this whole episode from back then because I bet they're
real interesting. You know,
it is
to be able to go back now with retrospect. You know, now that we're starting to get information. You know, did you read that? Did you guys read that order? That scathing order that Hitler disseminated just a day or two ago? Was it yesterday?
About the ceiling?
When he comes out and he just basically says enough with these ceiling. Yeah.
And then he goes
I loved every word of it.
Yeah, I did too. And he was talking about the state.
He really did.
And and it's that same old order that has the misnumbered elements or whatever. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5.
Remember that?
Yes.
What about when they got Judge to sign an order for future discovery? Oh, and if any future discovery, remember we had this conversation. We're like, Yoli, how could they be sitting there talking about entering an order for discovery that there hasn't even?
I mean, how do you even know what it is? I mean,
right? No, I loved when he said, you know, sealing should be the exception, not the norm. And it was like, Judge Hitler, where were you a year ago? A year and a half ago.
Because I think that's where it started. The precedent started there and it continued. They just kept sealing things and
the damage.
Well, they allowed him to do it because of the buddy system up there.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I know Yoli, I remember you saying, and I agree, this is what my experience has been too. If you want a motion, and you want a judge to whatever do some, you have to cite case law and you have to cite facts with specificity. They just wrote, like you just talked about, when the state must have 10 times just cut and pasted that 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no possible way they could have, not.
I mean, it's all the same. I mean, they have the same mistakes. It's not.
Right.
There's no thought process into it.
And
About
it didn't have any facts with specificity as to, okay, yeah, we know what the rule says, we know what the case law says. How does this discovery right here meet that standard? That's what they never did, and Judge never called them on it. So they got used to it, and it's both of them. It's not just the state, it's the defense too. And Ann Taylor is the one, I know right now she's wanting to possibly set aside the non-dissemination order. She drafted that first non-dissemination order the 3rd of January. Her and Thompson went to Megan Marshall. So they're responsible for putting that gag order in place. And that gag order has done so much that whatever good it intended to do, it just did so much damage because
it caused so much speculation. And that's the reason why Brian Koberger couldn't get a fair trial, is because of all the speculation and rumors and that's people are going to speculate when they don't know. It's crazy. And the one thing, he also said in that order that be mindful of when you file documents, because when you file them, they're in the case summary, and if the title of the document is something, it tells you what you're trying to seal, then it doesn't do any good.
It's
you know what I mean?
It's in the public ready. Hippler's got to know that people. I mean, I know I do that. I look at the case summary page every day, and I report it. If I see something there, I report it.
I know, that's why I'm always listening.
Down to if it's a sealed document, if it's a PDF. But then Hippler throws in a monkey wrench the other day. We thought all motions in limine were PDFs, therefore they would be released. And he puts in the order at the 28th. Oh, no, I have to look at all these. But at least he's releasing them now.
Yeah, and he's looking, he's looking at them.
No, he just said this is, this, and he had said that also. If that, remember that one crazy hearing that got set after the media coalition returned for the second time?
And yeah.
So he's like, for a second there, I just thought he was throwing them under the bus. He said, now I told them to cut it out with all of these demands for, sealed things, but I guess he really meant it.
Now look at that.
What's this a photo of?
I'm just saying, this is when I first, heard Bush. This was the picture that was put out there before Koberger, and it's from somebody's profile account.
Really?
For real, you guys, come on, you guys. This is like the easiest person to remember. For real.
I don't remember this.
Okay. All right, hold on. Here. Hold on. All right. People you may know showed up on Facebook. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Somebody did a little too much digging back in the day. Okay. And let me. Hold on.
Wow.
Hold on. Let me type the name in back chat. Listen, it's already, everybody knows who it is. I just can't say it publicly.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, you do.
It could be
Hold on.
Dense.
It's even in the photo. Here, I'll.
In the photo.
Here, look. I'll show you. Let me scroll up.
I mean, is this a person or is this like?
Yes. There it is. There it is.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
You saw it, didn't
you? Know who it is?
Well, what's this photo? But I mean, what's this picture of? Is this a cliff somewhere?
This is Moscow, Idaho.
Oh.
You didn't.
And
see
that was
that
on.
name.
So it was on his Facebook page. You said.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was public, and it's the last name is.
Yes.
The officer that had the body cam that Payne looked at.
Yes. Yes.
Remember Payne looked at somebody's body cam?
Yes.
To see the dog?
That raises this question. Payne, why did you look at the body cam to see where the sheep
was? Exactly. Oh no, see where the dog was.
The chief.
Oh,
how about that body cam footage?
Oh, Did he look at no, I know that he looked at this person's body cam footage for the dog.
For the dog, that was it. But then it was like he's walking in the room.
What's the best way? Yoli, remember I said, what's the best way to get rid of your DNA at a crime scene, Yoli? Long time ago, you were in my first.
Yeah.
You were in my short way back then.
You go in there.
The best way to get rid of your DNA at a crime scene is show up as a first responder.
Yeah.
Because everything gets excluded. Your footprints, your DNA, drips of blood. Oh shit! Sorry guys, I had a cut before I came here.
Oh shit!
Just saying. And who looks like a bushy eyebrow ski mask, all in black? Public profile from back in the day. Oh yeah.
You know what I found interesting too? Speaking of the first responders, I don't know if you recall way back when Howard Bloom. I know that a lot of people don't like his fiction, which I don't, but he was there early on, and he appeared to have some contacts with the people at Moscow Police Department before they shut everything down. And he had said, I was led to the belief that there were 3 first responders who all appeared at the first time, but with Judge Stephen J. Hippler is writing in his latest, in one of the orders, that it was just one. It was one that showed up. And I'm wondering if it was him. He said because he described it as one officer found the victims. One did. It wasn't a situation where 2 of them walked in, one walked behind. It was one officer, and he, I'm wondering if he was.
Different things. They found different things. Yeah, because he had to talk to this person, and then he had to talk to this person, and then he had to talk to this person. Yeah.
It's very strange, because maybe it was an officer. Maybe Dylan saw an officer. I don't know. An officer who said, "I'm here to help."
That's what a lot of speculation has been about that
but we don't
one
know.
statement. There's a lot of speculation about that.
Yeah,
Then the vacuum.
What cars did this guy have access to?
It's so funny because CJ back in the day used to say, "Well, this guy come in with a Bissell vacuum on his backpack," and that was just like a running joke. And then we hear it's a vacuum.
It's there.
It's there. Oh my God.
But
You know what it was? I guarantee this is what it was. I guarantee this is what it was. Because you know the latent footprint, right?
Yeah.
The moving latent footprint. Yeah.
How it was cleaned up, and who in the hell, because they didn't see it until they sprayed luminol. Who in the hell, after committing that crime, is gonna vacuum clean their, vacuum and heat seal clean that little area right there where it doesn't show up at all, right? And then holding a vacuum. To me, this is what it sounds to me like. The crime had already taken place. Somebody was, and they probably were passed out, honestly, because I don't know. I'm just going to tell you right now, I don't know how. The smell, okay? So they were probably, I could see her being passed out in her room. And somebody coming in there to see what was going on. And she woke up for a minute, opened the door, and saw somebody cleaning the frickin' latent shoe print. Because it's a size 9, right? Vans. So why would somebody that was, think about all the different footprints that had to be there with all of those different people coming in trying to find out. And you heard from Mabbitt, there was a lot everywhere. Okay. It was messy. So why would one person clean up one footprint when there's a whole bunch of other ones there? I don't understand that either. But I definitely don't see somebody committing a crime cleaning up their own footprint. You would want to get the hell out of there.
I
And
know.
if you did have a bloody footprint, would you not have a little bit of DNA in the floorboard of your vehicle?
I think so. And I was going to ask Audrey that. All right, so we hear about this supposed Vissel wet vac or a vac or something. How possibly is that? Considering with this crime scene, what we've been told about it, it's not a firearm. It's up close and personal. It sounds like it was very frantic. If it's just one person, how do you possibly clean up every centimeter of your DNA? How? With a vacuum cleaner?
You can't.
Impossible, right?
Right.
Especially if it was if one of the victims was fighting back, your DNA is going to get everywhere.
Yeah,
It'll be more than 21 skin cells on the button snap of a knife sheath. Tell you that. Be a hell of a lot more than that. A lot more. And they already broke down the vehicle.
I mean, sweat. If he was sweating and doing what he was doing, and I mean,
hair.
Yeah, I mean,
sweat,
you just
tears.
You don't know
how nothing. And then it comes into again. We just have to. We don't know. Nobody was there. We don't know. Seems like we're gonna start getting a little bit more of the evidence with this judge now. But they made him sound like he was the most brilliant criminal mastermind in the world because he didn't drop a ton of his DNA. But then on the other hand, he's the dumbest one for driving his own car to the crime scene, going down all of these roads with all of these cameras and lights, and then turning the car around. So like CJ said, you're basically you're shining lights into somebody's window at 4 a.m. It's inconsistent. He's either the most brilliant or he's the dumbest in the world. Can't be both.
Or he didn't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That right there. That's the whole back, forth, 3-point turn.
I often wonder, if maybe, since Brian had a habit with H, that, he kind of went back to it and he was going somewhere to get, H, and maybe somebody saw his car or something and he didn't get it that day. And then because people were saying that he was behaving strangely after the students were saying that. And I'm wondering if maybe he had a little bit of withdrawals from that, and maybe that's why he was acting strangely. But I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say that this guy...
I'm gonna be honest. The Washington State is a legal state. So if dude he had already worked that hard, he could have just had some gummies, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that legally, and that would have killed
the.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Normally, people would normally when they're gonna replace something, they replace it with something else. You see what I'm saying? Because it's the personality. It's not necessarily the substance. It's the personality. It's the addictive personality that is handed to him, through traits, and so if that person has an addictive personality already, it could be something as simple as coffee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the addictive personality of coffee instead of so when you have something that simple, because let's be honest, this is why a lot of states not only are legalizing it medically, but are also legalizing it recreationally, is because it does help with a lot of those things. And this is something that's natural. It's not something that is manufactured or man-made or anything like that. This is something that's natural. And so when it can help with mental health, and it can help with pain, and it can help with anxiety, and it can help with all these different things, again, which is why it's getting legalized medically and recreationally in whatever state that is, they're starting to see now, because once they declassified it, they were able to start doing studies with it and started to determine, why are we putting people on opiates, which is addictive, when we can just put them on this instead, and then they can, eventually, like, it's not that addictive when it comes to that. And so with him,
We don't know. Just don't know.
yeah, when it comes to that, that's a lot. I would just see him, before he would even go that route, I would see him look at that as an option and go, okay, well, let me try this. You know what I'm saying? Before you really. And when you're a new student and you're only there for a couple months, I mean, yeah, there's stuff that's all around and it's plentiful, but let's be honest, this is the middle of, this is Moscow and Pullman. This is quite a bit of distance from a bigger city. And so a lot of those substances aren't going to be readily available like they would in a bigger city. And at the same time, trying to keep that stuff that much of a secret in those little towns would be very hard too. And so when it comes to the edibles that are legal right across the border, I'm sure there's a lot of Idaho students that would travel. I mean, it's right across the border, and I'm sure they would go there and get.
And then
whatever.
we don't know.
But-
We don't know if those students were telling the truth about his behavior changes. They could have just been exaggerating because they.
Maybe.
Arrested.
Maybe he was frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Like if he really was doing that with the grades and stuff like that, who knows what was going on in his real life. That's got to be a big adjustment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you're going from Pennsylvania, you study college at first in Pennsylvania. You're around your. It's a different world from Pennsylvania to Idaho. And,
and CJ,
you see all the videos. Hold on one second. You see all the videos of that guy that is that real estate agent in Idaho, and every video he tells you reasons why not to move there. And one of the top 5 reasons he gives you is, if you move to Idaho, change your license plate ASAP, because the difference in the way that you get treated is like night and day. And so that would tell me dude's probably having a hard time because he's got Pennsylvania plates, and people are like, who the hell, what the hell?
Yeah.
I had Washington State plates when I went there for my rental. That's why I was happy, because it's like, these people are going to think I'm here. I'm from here.
What were you going to say, Kathy?
No, I was going to just mention, coming off of what CJ said, and I'm sorry I interrupted, but
no, it's all right.
Now we're finding out he's autistic. So people with autism, I mean, they're into routines. They don't like changes, right? So you're going from Pennsylvania, where you have super support systems. You got your family there. You got your parents. You got your 2 sisters. You got all your teachers, all your professors, whatever friends you made. Now you're going to go all the way across the country, where, from what CJ's saying here, not very welcoming to outsiders, people back east. He had to have been under a lot of stress those few months.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And he didn't have his mom. He was away from his mom and his dad, and I think that was the first time that he'd been away. And I could understand. I mean, that he was awkward, and he does appear a little awkward. Like I've never seen him other than when he's talking to the police. But I mean, he seems. I don't know. I mean, I could see him being awkward, but it's really hard to say because nobody's ever seen him talking normally.
Well, I think we got a big clue as to his personality when he spoke with that. Was it Washington State University, that cop that stopped him? Because the people that I know, and I've got family members who are autistic, they are all about the routines. It's like, we're supposed to do A, B, C, and D. But then other people, you might deviate. They don't deviate. They want to know, and it all has to do with the diagnosis, because things are just hitting them so quickly. They really depend on those routines. So he's going, what is it, 1,500 miles. It's not like he's going 100 miles away, where it would be where his mom could maybe go see him, or his parents or his sister or brother or whatever. I mean, this is a totally different, all the way across the country. Hate to say it in retrospect, but it seemed like it was a disaster waiting to happen, because if he's on the spectrum, you need those normalcies. And he's out there driving around with a Pennsylvania tag. CJ, he's probably thinking nothing of it, but that's making him stick out.
Well, yeah, I mean, the reason I thought something of it was because I watched them videos. It's
no wonder why he was getting stopped every 5 minutes.
Well, and when it comes to the driving laws too, because when we saw that body cam, right?
That's true about him getting stopped.
Right. So when he got stopped with that body cam, and he was asking questions about, the difference, and people are like, come on, how can there be any difference? And it's like, well, actually, when I went to Pennsylvania and I was out there, I myself sat there and went, these road laws are different, man. And the way that they have the roads, a lot of them don't have curbs. The way that they do their stop signs, even Pam's, you're from PA, right, Pam? Explain the stop signs in Pennsylvania compared, because really Pennsylvania is its own thing when it comes to stoplights. Because I was even like, there was a couple times when I first got there, I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to go or if I'm supposed to stay. Like, tell me, Pam, because once I went to PA for Danilo, I was like, whoa, I know what he was saying in that body cam when he got pulled over for not stopping at the stop sign properly. Because you really, like, when you're living that way, I can see how you get confused and you do break the law, because when it comes to PA and their stop signs, they're so different. Normally that is breaking the law. It's kind of weird. I don't know how to explain it, but it's definitely, when I seen that, I was like, okay, it makes sense. Yeah. I understand. Let me see here. I'm trying to put these two together here. That way I can zoom it in. All right, there's that. Let me go back to playing this video here real quick.
Again, towards the home. Now, Chanley, I know you put together some video showing all of this, because this is significant. This is 404. This is when the car makes its final pass, and then it's time to break it.
I'm sorry. This path is like Joe Dirt going to commit this crime. Not somebody that studied SKs, that had questionnaires about what they felt, what mistakes they made. This is like a route that Joe Dirt would have took to go do this crime. Like, you're gonna fucking drive up, turn around right there, then come back around, do another turn, and then come back around. I'm sorry.
It just seemed like the person was lost.
I just assumed this dude is smarter than... Yeah. Yeah, the route's going up.
Oh my God, I thought you were talking. God, I'm all confused.
No, it's the video.
The video.
And what they're saying he is. I'm on mute. Saying he's stupid as fuck.
And that's where it makes one of those 3-point turns, a K-turn. It turns around in that intersection and then heads back east on Queen Road. Again, towards the home. Now, Chanley, I know.
I mean, anybody. Like, who does that? What's up, Kelly? Who does that? Who literally, like, you're gonna commit a crime and you're gonna just look at that. Just look at it. To me, that looks like somebody that got lost trying to. Does that remind you of that that video of that guy where he's like, just look at it, where he's like fake buying a car? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? There's like a video out a long time ago where this guy was just like, just look at that, like going over, just picking through the whole car.
Your face looks so disgusted.
I'm just like,
huh? What?
Again, it's 2 days after I was digging through the PCA, and I'm just sitting here going, what? How is this? Look at it. When I seen this diagram, I'm just like, huh? For food. And they got confused because they were like, wait a minute, I'm on Queen Road, but I need King Road. I need 1122 King Road. I'm on fucking Queen Road. What is my GPS telling me? Yes, that's like somebody got lost. Yeah, there was a lot of F-bombs back then too, just heads up. I know this because when I go on my damn trips, sometimes my GPS doesn't like to tell me the right way, and all of a sudden I'm doing shit like this. That's somebody that got lost. That's not somebody that stalked out the property 12 times. Come on. Stalked out the property 12 times. But you're like Joe Dirt going to park the car.
Now you put together some video showing all of this because this is significant. This is 404. This is when the car makes its final pass, and then
give me a break.
It's time to break into the home and commit a murder.
Don't either, Katrina.
Exactly. So again, we started at 3:29 a.m. So this is more than 30 minutes later, 3 passes by this home later. This is the 4th time, like you said, 4:04 a.m. again, making its way east on Queen Road one more time. This is the only way into this area. You see the crime scene to the right. He, according to this affidavit, continues on straight past these apartment buildings on the right and would make it's very narrow road. As you can see, I've spoke to most of these neighbors that live here on this road, this apartment complex. You would have to go all the way towards the end of this narrow road before you could turn around. It's going to be apartment number 52, according to the affidavit. In this area, this wider circle area where that white Hyundai Elantra turned around, according to this affidavit, and then back down the hill west on Queen Road where he passes the crime scene one more time. It would have been on his left side, his driver's side of the car at that time. And according to the affidavit, that's when he sort of fails to either turn around, attempts to kind of park or turn around there right in front of the home. Remember those tire marks, Vinny, on this road that I'm showing you? They would be about where that red car is in front in this video, where those
the tire marks, right where that red car is. Yeah. In the parking lot that wasn't closed off in the beginning, right? They're the killer's tire marks.
Oh my God.
They're the killer's tire marks. It wasn't closed off, but it was preserved, sir. It was preserved.
Tire marks were. So he would continue down. He'd pass it after this failed attempt to park or turn around
preserved
in front of the home, and then see the intersection further down where King and Queen meet. He does a 3-point turn there before heading back to this home where, according to this affidavit, committed these murders within about 16 minutes before speeding off at 4:20 a.m. this direction out Valencia Road.
So let me ask you, Chanley, at 4:04, when all this is happening, what we're showing the folks right now, what's going on inside the house?
At 4:04, well, around 4 a.m., according to the affidavit, there was a DoorDash food delivery delivered to the home, and that was ordered by Xana Kernodle, the second floor room. She ordered food. I believe it was like Jack in the...
That's what they just did with the killer. Look, okay. Does this not look like... We're not even going to listen to him, okay? We're not even going to listen to him. Does this not look...
I'm done with it at that point.
Does this not look like somebody that's freaking lost trying to order food? I'm not even going to play what they're talking. Just watch their driving, okay? Damn, I swear I'm on Queen Road, but it says 1122 King. Is there another way to get to King Road? How do you... Hold on a minute. Let me look at my GPS again real quick. Okay, well, it's telling me I'm at the location, but I'm not at the location. Is that it? I don't know, but it's telling me I'm at the location, but I'm not. Shoot, hold on. Let me see if I can go. It must come around. King Road must come around because it's on King Road, 1122. Okay, hold on. Let me see. No, shoot. I can't go anywhere. No, it dead ends. Hold on a minute. No, hold on a minute. Let me go back. Hold on. Let me go back. It's got to be this way. It has to be. Hold on. All right. I don't know. I'm on Queen Road now. I'm on Queen Road, but it says 1122 King Road. Huh?
Oh,
is
there's
that
somebody
it?
running.
But it's Queen Road. I'm looking at the numbers on the house.
See what I mean? Lost because listen, there's been plenty of times, you all know I've driven a lot of freaking miles, and there's been plenty of times where I'm like, shit, guys, I missed my turn. Like, and it tells me wrong stuff. It does.
So funny. Yeah.
That's me getting lost from a location that I'm trying to get to. That's why it was so easy for me to just replay it, because I'm like, damn, this is like my front windshield. Hell, I'm going to use it.
Well, it makes more sense. I mean, that it was the DoorDash driver that was lost than somebody going in to commit this horrible unaliving. I mean, why would you run around the house? Why would you be driving around the house that you're going to do what you're going to do so everybody can see you?
Oh, man, that's crazy. Here's the side-by-side. Sorry.
That almost looks like a Ferrari.
It looks like a car that's lower to the ground. That looks like a hatchback.
Could it be that BMW? No, I have no idea.
Notice this too. Okay. Notice this too. So you see how, and this is why I wanted to do this side by side, because you know how I explained the incline earlier, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So with the headlights that are in front of us and the headlights that are to the side of us, do those headlights both match the light source on the ground of the pavement?
No.
You see the headlights and they're literally lighting up the road that's in front of them. They're at the part where it starts, and I can go back to my footage to show you. They pull in, and then as soon as you get to where the railing hand part is, that's where the incline starts. Okay, right after that first car and a half to 2 cars, that incline starts. So we're past the incline, so going this car facing down and this car facing this way before they start it. No, we're at the flatter part of the road, and I'll show you that with my footage because it's important when it comes to these two vehicles as well. Look at the car to the left. Do you see the headlights that are lighting up the pavement like the headlights of the vehicle to the right. They're on the same level of pavement. I don't see the headlights. See this right here? See how bright this is on the pavement? Where do you see that on this pavement? That right there is another sign that tells you this vehicle is a lot lower to the ground, because if you're a lot lower to the ground, your lights reflect the pavement. That's what they're meant for, because then this also to me looks like somebody that has the fog lights turned on as well. So if you have a souped up car, and do you remember the souped up car engine that drove around Grub Truck in Linda Lane? The same souped up soup can car would look just like that, because those same vehicles 9 times out of 10 also have the fog lights that are on ground level. They're two different vehicles.
100%.
Yeah, it is. So this was an exhibit to one of the motions. This car.
Yeah, here's the link for it. Shout out to Kathy too. It's the make, model, suspect vehicle, and here's the document. I'll drop it for everybody in live chat, and I'll drop it for you in the back chat, Yoli, if you want to take a look at it.
Why do they not have the entire video?
It's 4 pages. Well, I'm sure they had to take more frames. I mean, if this is the car that you're saying is the car, whether it's coming or leaving, I mean, I guarantee you they're taking a picture every frame. Every frame. That's why I'm saying, why is this photo? I hope this. I'm gonna tell you right now. I better see more photos. And we better see the video of this.
Well, because this is not
coming and leaving.
No, this is not specific enough.
Now, you can picture these vehicles being a ham sandwich, and you can picture these pictures being used to get a warrant, to get all of those things, because, it's as easy as a ham sandwich, right? So these two photos, you could basically go in there and say, yep, this is a person coming in. This is the person leaving. They're not going to dig into the photos like we would. They're going to take them at their word. And that's the problem with this case from the very beginning, is that people have had to take them for their word. And you're looking at their word. I can't wait to see all the people that come out with the boom shows tonight and tomorrow, because they're going to do it, and they're going to be like, boom, there's Kohberger's car coming and leaving, without
you sound like
really
Nancy Grace.
with sound like who?
Nancy Grace.
Oh, really?
Boom, there's Kohberger's car.
Yeah, like this is, I'm sorry. It doesn't, you don't even have to be a professional to see that these are 2 different vehicles, 2 different heights.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, you look at it side by side. What if this was your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your son, your daughter, your cousin, your grandma, your grandpa, and this crime happened to, and they said, here you go, family. Here's the car of the person that came in and left. And you're like,
is this a joke?
Right.
Yeah. And then, I have a question too about the DNA. Like they don't know when the transferred DNA of the skin cells got on that knife sheet, do they? There's no way to tell. There's no way to tell. There's no way to tell.
I mean, that's why the whole DNA dirty glove. You touch the equipment that already has, you pick up a dirty glove off the ground that's been stepped on more than a few times, twisted and shouted on. You grab that, then you're like grabbing all your equipment, rubbing your freaking camera thing. So yeah, when you're inside the crime scene taking photos of items and people of the crime, right? You're documenting the crime scene. You're on video rubbing the freaking strap for your camera with the same gloves that you're wearing. So then I can imagine when you're done documenting the sheath, well then you got to like move it. You got to move the item of evidence, and then you got to put it up against this. And then sometimes I wouldn't even imagine somebody that experienced opening up the button snap to take a photo of the snap being opened to see if there's any other DNA that can be documented with a photo. So while that person's using their left hand to open up the sheath in the button snap and take a photo of it, that right there can be, I just touched the camera equipment that I touched that had the dirt, the glove that was contaminated from outside. We're talking minute where you can't even see it blow in the wind. Okay. We're talking that minute. You're going to tell me that little piece of minute couldn't have got on there that way?
It was the Washington State Police. I mean, the Washington, Pullman, Washington Police were at that house as well, right?
Yeah.
Pullman?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're the same officer.
Don Daniels?
Yes.
Was she there?
They're the same. That lady that did all this.
Yeah.
Was the same lady that was at Koberger's apartment.
Because what if Koberger had some interactions with her at some point?
Maybe they stop. It's like I tell people, maybe they stop somewhere. And I mean, you think how many times that lady stepped on that glove? Even one of them did a little nice twist while it's like, hey, there's a glove, and then you got the state police going, oh, she's about to pick up that glove on the ground. Let me turn my head over here real quick, even though I don't see anybody, and now I can bring it back over. It's all on tape.
The DNA dirty glove ballet.
It's all on tape.
Contamination starting from there. We got it on tape.
The strap for the camera. Look at how I'm rubbing all over the strap of that camera with those gloves that just touched that. Mark and Betty had a good question though, because with the autistic discussion, what is your view, Yoli, on the AT bringing up the autistic?
Well, I mean, I haven't read the motion, but it's a motion to strike autism spectrum disorder. So I'm assuming that there's something that she can do. And my question was, why is she bringing these now when we already heard all the death penalty motions, right?
Right.
Remember we had that?
I'm very happy that you brought that up, because I did I read the motion quickly tonight, when and what she says is, she does say, page number 2, I realize that the deadline has passed. Yeah. After all, it was set in the October 9th order by Judge Stephen Hitler, right? What she says is there's a good reason for bringing it now, good faith, and it's in the affidavit of one of the physicians.
And it's probably who evaluated him for the mitigation.
Oh, okay,
probably.
But the problem is the affidavit's under seal, so we don't know why the doctor, what he would be saying. Although what you're saying here is this is the mitigation, that maybe he's just being diagnosed now. Is that a possibility?
Yes, because that's what I was thinking.
Just now?
Yeah, because
why?
Because
after they denied the whole discussion before about trying to get it removed.
Well, yeah.
Remember when that was denied?
Hitler.
So they
all of the motions to strike the death penalty, they were denied last fall, and that was set according to the pre-trial and trial order, when those motions, the responses, the replies, and the hearings were going to be. So she's like 3-4 months down the line. Like Yola said, I had the same question. Why are you bringing this up now?
So what I think is, and she also brought one on the disclosures, on the violations of disclosures, taking the death penalty off based on the violation of disclosures. So those two are late, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, So as a part of the mitigation, part of the case, if he's found guilty, what they do is they have people evaluate, Brian, in case he's found guilty. They have their information, whatever mitigating circumstances there are. But in this case, he probably was just evaluated like not too long ago because they're preparing for trial. And these mitigation expert witnesses evaluated him and came up with that he's on the spectrum. And so she didn't know that before until just recently, because it's possible they just evaluated him. And then also with the other one, discovery is now closed. So now she can say they violated discovery and disclosures because the time is up now and discovery is closed. So she can now say what they haven't produced. My link doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm gonna put up another one. Hold on 1 second. Oh, it was Yoli. Oh, hold on. That was.
That's the old one.
Yeah. Here,
Yola.
Let me put this in.
Wow, Yoli. What
There we
go.
What
a theory that he's just now diagnosed at age 29, 30.
Mm-hmm. That's weird.
It makes a lot of sense, Yoli, because maybe that's why he struggled when he was younger. He was undiagnosed. He didn't know what was going on in his world. So he turns to age. He does this. He does that. He struggles. Yeah. He was maybe undiagnosed until just now.
Right.
I bet you. I mean, that's a great theory.
Yeah, so I think that because then there's that other motion in limine regarding medical records that the prosecution filed, and they want to exclude medical records that are neurological and psychiatric medical records. And I'm thinking that the reason is because I was thinking that maybe Ann Taylor wants these records in to show that he has a habit of driving around at night. But like you said, I don't know if expert witnesses will be able to support an alibi, to construct his alibi in terms of you have an expert witness, Cy Ray, who's going to put him somewhere else. You got the police who have noted that he was in the area 12 times at night. Okay. Then you have additional information from a psychologist.
Connected to the towers.
Connected to the towers. Yeah. So, and then you have now that he's autistic and he has a routine, so maybe, that she's trying to construct his alibi with various expert witnesses, but I don't know if she can do that. If it has to be a precipient witness, like someone who sees him, like you
said, that's what it sounds like. I mean, that's
but doesn't he have to get on the stand?
Yeah.
Doesn't he have to get on the stand?
Well, that's what the state's demanding. He's saying, listen, you either
and they usually don't like
strike
that.
You strike it, or he's got to get up on the stand, because you cannot have some expert through technology testify as to where he was, because you need a fact witness. You need somebody in the car with him. Or like you were saying, somebody that maybe saw him at a gas station.
Yeah.
You need a live person.
It's like what they could tell you, because I'm sure it's going to be brought up, because when I went out there for my trip, I'm sure an expert's going to show him, look, here's the towers, and you can be in Pullman while you connect to the tower that services 1122. That an expert, I mean, you could literally go there yourself and look at the towers and see him for yourself and see you can literally connect while you're in Pullman. So it's not going to be that hard. I mean, Scott Reich, the host of Crime Talk, has his own show, and he talks a lot about how his one client, they were trying to pin him for a crime and trying to say that his phone pinged at the specific location, and his client got off because they couldn't argue the fact that his client could have been 30 blocks away just based off the ping that they were talking about.
Right.
When you connect, you're just connecting. And that's why, I wanted to say that, because when you are just connecting, you're just
connecting. You could be going to Floyd's before you go look at the
Yes.
stars and connect to the tower that, that 1122 services. But when it comes to the autism, he would have to get on the stand as far as I thought. And also, I know defenses don't particularly like to put their client
I know.
on the stand. So,
and especially if he is autistic, if he's on the autism spectrum disorder, that might, I don't know how you would handle that, but I just think that, so I haven't seen the docket yet, but did the judge must have granted her motion for leave to file the death penalty motions, the autism spectrum and the other one?
I don't know. I mean, what she did is she filed a motion for leave to make her document be more than 10 pages, because that's what it is, and he granted that. But in terms of if she's going to, we have to see what the response is going to be. The response may come back and say, look, they blew this, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to accept this reason. Judge, this is why you put the trial order out for. This is outrageous. That's what I'm expecting them to come back with. But I was like, why are they filing this stuff this now?
Yeah.
This is 4. I mean, it's not even like, it is seriously late. I think that the deadline was October, or no, it was September. It was September. They had filed these when they were still in Latah County, like a few days before the change of venue. That's how long ago this was. But I think that's a brilliant theory, Yoli, that he just was maybe evaluated, and he was just diagnosed as autistic.
Yeah, it's possible.
There was also a recent case of Robert Robertson. His death penalty was stricken because of the autism spectrum disorder, and so I think he might have been the first case. And then
what's his name?
Robert Robson.
Where was that at? Where
was it? Texas? And
yes, I did hear about that.
There's another case where the Supreme, I forgot what state it is, but the Supreme Court is looking at another case similar to that one, where they're debating whether they should strike the death penalty for another person for the same reason. So these are brand new emerging issues, like breaking.
Because it was crazy, because when Nancy Grace came out with her episodes and all these other people were coming out with their episodes, and they're sitting there like they were bashing AT because she was disrespecting autistic people. I'm like, I don't see somebody like her doing that. She's very respectful, always has been. And that would be career unaliving as far as I'm concerned, because if you're going to talk about mental health that way, then you don't even deserve to have your job. But I didn't see it that way, because I was reading the documents and I was like, okay. Now, I didn't understand a lot of it, but at the same time, I didn't see what Nancy Grace was seeing. So I was kind of shocked when it came to Nancy Grace and some of the others on their takes regarding the autism and Ann Taylor. That's interesting, though, because I had always, and Cece brings up a great point, I definitely think the autism was just diagnosed. Now, that's the crazy thing to me was when it was being discussed, I thought it was like diagnosed a long time ago and it was just getting brought up. I never thought about it being diagnosed through the process of the trial, the pre-trial and the court hearings and the experts. That's crazy. So it makes you wonder if he was never diagnosed from a doctor when he went to plenty of doctors. Come on now. He went to plenty of doctors. If he was telling them his problems, you saw the visual snow stuff and all this other stuff. If he's going to doctors explaining this stuff and they can't even diagnose him, and it takes experts while you're going through a pre-trial for them to come up and be diagnosing you, then it makes me wonder how many of us out there were never diagnosed as well.
So people with autism can sometimes have visual snow. That can be, if you look it up, autism and visual snow, you'll see that a lot of autistic people do have visual snow.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, so it's possible that the experts in evaluating him determined that that was what he had, and he wasn't able to get that diagnosis earlier, unless there is a diagnosis of that earlier, and perhaps they digged it up when they're doing their the mitigation. They have investigators, and maybe they dug that up and they found a medical record that showed that he had autism spectrum disorder. I mean, it could be either, but I think it was through the process of this whole court case.
Wow. I mean, it does, because it came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because I would have thought it would have came out when
when the other death penalty motions came.
When he was when everybody was like, oh gosh, boom, he was looking at stars, that whole chaos that came out a long time ago. I would imagine that would have been a part of it when it came to the stars, right? I would have thought that would have been discussed as well. So that's interesting about the visual snow. Real quick, I just want to play a couple seconds of this. This is the video I was talking about where it was like, look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, look at that. What are you wiping the windows? Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's nice and shiny.
Well, it's a 78.
Yeah, it's looking good. Looked really good.
Yeah, it's got original paint, too.
Yeah.
People that owned this thing before me must have put the thing away in its Long Island, New York garage every day of its life.
Oh, go figure. Look at that. Oh, look at that.
All right, that's the video I'm talking about.
Okay.
Thank you, Busby. Thank you, Busby. All right, we'll get back. Thank you, Busby.
Look at that.
Look at that. Oh, I had to. All right, let's get back to the picture of the evening. Oh, I love that. Let me get back to this. All right, there we go. Yeah, that's crazy. And then so Robert Robson, I'm gonna have to look that up. That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done any videos on that, Audrey? Have you done any videos?
I briefly went over it on my last live.
Did you?
I had a guest on, Anna Truth and Justice with Anna D on, and we went over some of what autism is and that particular case.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you guys discussed that case on your... Oh, interesting.
Well, we didn't go into it. I just had mentioned briefly when I told you that did happen, and that the courts are starting to take notice of that. And there's also some other Supreme Court decisions that have come down, and the Autism Society and disability advocates are really excited about this. So there's some articles out there about this.
Yeah. And I was looking, it's a commonly associated, visual snow is commonly associated with autism.
How about that? Wow.
Yeah.
That is very interesting.
It is.
Just wondering out loud, that must have been tough for him, growing up, being undiagnosed.
Well, because they're probably pumping
autism.
Different medications. You know how doctors were back then. They're just, here, take this pill. Oh, you have these side effects, take this one. Oh, that one originally is not working, try this one. I mean, it was boom, 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 boom. I can imagine all the different pills and things that they were trying to do to help them out, That's
a shame, because certainly, I mean, I think when he was born, like 94, 95 or something, you could see like people in the 70s, 80s where they're undiagnosed, but certainly by the mid 90s, it was a lot more out there. And it's simply, once you're diagnosed, then there's interventions, there's social skills training, there's things that can be done to help them understand, the social, because the big thing is they don't get like a lot of the social norms that anyone else would get. Like they'll be standing in line at a McDonald's and they'll be like right on top of the person on top. They're not trying to be fresh or rude. They just don't get the boundaries, you know?
Yeah.
So it's, who knows what his life could have been if
Yeah.
he would have been diagnosed.
Just think about the kids these days where there is a diagnosis, right? And think about not being diagnosed and having to like do all the same classes and expected to be like the other students because you weren't diagnosed. I mean,
Right.
And-
it's that had to be, you know, I'm sure it was like a real shocker to him. And I'm sure a lot of things made sense when he heard it too.
Probably,
Yeah.
you know, because he's a bright guy. He probably read up on it because he has access to materials. He probably read up on it. But, you know, a big thing too with kids with autism, they get bullied a lot. You know, I mean, they get bullied a lot because they're different. And I wonder if that happened with him. And I will tell you something, because we have people in my family who are autistic, so I'm very well, you know about it. We've been around, we understand. I've yet to meet a person with autism who's violent. You know, usually they're the subject of bullying because they're
They'll
different,
go hide.
and
Yeah.
it's hard for them. You know, especially when you're in grade school, middle school, and that may be why, you know, they turn to DRUGS, or they're looking for looking for diagnoses. I've met a lot of autistic people, a lot in my life, and I can't think of one that's violent. Usually, the violence is imposed on them because of their differences. They get bullied a lot.
Well, and think about why people usually take H. It's to suppress pain.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pain that you think about all the medications that you were getting pumped up with. You're thinking about how there's nothing that's helping. You're thinking about, you know, the life at school, maybe life at home because they don't know either. You know, there's a lot of things where they're like, "Come on, Brian."
Yeah,
come
and
on, man.
yeah,
You know,
the whole routine issue of what he does as a routine, and how it would affect him. Like he had to find a new routine now that he moved,
Right.
and so you know it goes with the vacuuming at night, with the lack of sleep, with the driving around, you know, at night. You know, I mean, he may have just, it's like when you drive babies around when they're crying, and you put them in the car and you drive them and then they calm down.
Yep.
So it has like a soothing effect. And so he probably didn't know what the heck was going on. So he got addicted, like self-medicated, like somebody said, Pam was saying.
That's what I used to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Self-medicate, right?
I would when I was younger, you know, I'm talking like early 20s. I'm having a lot of difficult things going on in my life, you know, and I used to do it when I was in school. There's nothing, and there'd be nights where I couldn't get to sleep because this is why I'm able to do what I do. And there's so many people that see me in the background. They're like, I don't know how you keep doing what you're doing, man. I would have burned out a long time ago. And what people don't understand is what my crutch was when I was younger was my mind. When I say 1,000 tiles flipping like crazy, that's what my mind is. It's 1,000 freaking tiles flipping all at the same time. I'm working on all these different cases. I could memorize, I can go back to facts, this and that, and I'm able to manage it all. And it's because it was a crutch back then, because I couldn't settle my mind enough to be able to focus on reading a book. I couldn't settle my mind enough to be able to like pay attention to little things because my attention would go somewhere else. But when you put something in my hand, I learned it like a freaking expert in 10 minutes. It was completely different. And that's what I used to do. I couldn't get sleep at night, so I would get in my car, roll my windows down, feel the cool breeze, have the radio off, sometimes even just having my head out in the window, just driving out in the country, going out of the city, driving in the country, getting the fresh air, the cool breeze, the calmness of it all. And then, I could go back and finally get some sleep. It's one of the reasons why, like right now, when I got sick with this half-ass COVID, I'm having a hard time getting back on a normal sleep schedule because my mind is always up late right now racing.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who drive around at night when they can't sleep because
have to.
You know, they're in the house and they don't they're just antsy, and you know,
Well,
especially.
I mean, if you're vacuuming at 2 a.m, I vacuum every day. You know why? Not because it's like the carpet needs to be cleaned. I do it because it's soothing and it's calming to me.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? That's true. Some things like cleaning can ease anxiety, like especially like vacuuming, or you know, things that involve like a steady noise of something. You know, yeah.
I listen to thunderstorms when I try and get to sleep.
Yeah,
I mean,
those kinds of noises, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting that, I mean, well, we don't know. I mean, that was just my theory, that I thought that maybe he was just diagnosed, because otherwise, why just bring this now, you know?
Right. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, why is it just coming out now? But then I'm seeing Nancy Grace and I'm like, why is she running with it like this? And so that's why, you know, even last week when we brought it up in another show, it's why I was like, okay, I'm seeing all this different stuff and what I'm reading is not saying it. And so that's why, you know, I reached out to you all about it, because I'm like, maybe I'm seeing or not seeing something that you guys would see. And, you know, I don't know where Nancy Grace was coming from, honestly.
I don't think she knows. She just rattles off everything.
So
sometimes she's good, but you know, other times she's just,
yeah, you know, she did blame him for like knowing that the girl wasn't gonna want to know how to change her own Wi-Fi password for her security system. Like, come on now, like, this is 2022. A female's gonna be like, hey buddy, you set up the security system, can you show me how to change my password? And then Nancy Grace is like, and he's sitting in his living room eating his Captain Crunch, and he's creeping on her, looking at her in her lingerie. And it's just like, man, that's when I broke up. That's when I broke up with Nancy back then. I was like, Nancy, we can't no more. We can't no more. And then a little time went by and I felt bad. And I'm like, Nancy, I'm back. You know, let's just go have a couple drinks. You need a little laugh, you know. We have yet to go out for those drinks. But anyway, I just wanted to help her out.
He has a love-hate relationship with her.
I know, I do. It's like, but you know what? This is the longest that me and Nancy have had a relationship in my whole show. So, shout out to Nancy. But it's it's getting close. Almost.
Well, when she was doing that whole thing with the hands, like you were doing, like creeping. That was.
She really did this on camera. I'm like, okay, we're done, Nancy. We're done. Because at that point, that's when I was done with all the mainstream media, and I was still holding on to Nancy Grace, because I was like, Nancy, I love you. I love your passion. You're about no BS. You get it done. Cut the fat off the steak. You know, like, that's how I like it. Let's do it, right? But then when it's like, I'm like,
oh God.
I'm like, come on.
Did anybody read any of the other motions in Lemonade that got released today? There's one that's really good. It starts to, it tells you that, first off, it was Bethany's phone, BF, her phone, that made the call at 11:56. So we're learning that detail for the first time. Also, it's saying here that per Nunez's interview with DM, that she looked out her room at 4 o'clock. The intruder was clad in black, looked at her directly, and she didn't know why he didn't, you know, attack her or do anything. She went downstairs.
Okay.
So I don't know where the stuff about bushy eyebrows and everything else.
Oh, what? She saw him. From. She saw him. Say that again. She saw him.
Where's
4 o'clock? She opened the, and then that starts to question the timeline again. Because, okay, well, the start of the crime, 4 to 4:25. So what this new detail is saying today is that she looked out the door for the first time at 4, and she then calls downstairs to BF, and she goes down there, and they fall asleep together. They wake up 8 hours.
They don't
later,
call
whatever it is.
911 still? Dude, you could have maybe saved one of your freaking roommates if you would have called 911.
Well,
I'm telling you right
now
now,
I'm
if any of
confused.
my friends, if any of my, I'm gonna tell you right now because I won't be able to tell you after I'm gone. If any of my friends are around some shit that happens to me and they don't call 911 right away, right there, any of my friends that do that shit, right there.
So then
And
the
I'm saying
statement
it
about
now.
her. So then the statement about her seeing the bushy eyebrows walking by her room. This is something different than that.
There's no mention in this this new information about her
Yeah.
seeing, and that's something that Ann Taylor pointed out. That's the one, that's the motion in limine to regarding the bushy eyebrows. There was one in there, and I had
Okay.
read it quickly. So
I'll have to
there's a
read those.
question here if she even said that.
Let's see, which new.
It's
which,
the motion in limine with bushy eyebrows.
Yeah.
is that really the title?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is.
Keep going. Bushy eyebrows right there.
Ah. Are you serious? This is.
Oh my god!
Could you imagine a motion in limine ever being entitled something like this? Lots of firsts in this case.
By bushy eyebrows, like, oh yeah, those are the eyebrows I know because this hair was going this way and this hair was going that way, and then it circled around here. So that's the eyebrow.
Well, you know, the thing that I always was concerned about in the PCA, amongst many other things, is that it made it sound like it was Detective Payne who said, well,
Yeah.
okay, looking at the driver's license photograph, oh yeah, he's got bushy eyebrows and he's athletic built and around the same size. Oh, okay, well, it's like, what are you doing identifying him?
Yeah,
Isn't
like
that up to the witness to do?
Yeah.
Very strange. Very strange.
Excuse me.
Motion in limine.
Well, she never identified Mr. Koberger.
Bushy.
That's right.
eyebrow.
That's right.
So that's what it says. I go up a bit.
Let's see. Go up.
Yeah, it says that they want to the Idaho evidence bar witness Dylan Mortensen, hereafter DM, from using the words bushy eyebrows or identifying Mr. Koberger in that manner. Well, I don't think she's ever identified Brian Koberger in any manner.
No, she didn't.
No.
She didn't.
No, that's why you could literally have this person up there, and it could be, that kind of, because remember, you're looking in darkness. Yeah, that could kind of look like him too. Sorry, Mitchell. It's just kind of, you come out with this photo.
I'm sure there's a lot of people like that because it's winter and they need a lot, it's cold and
Yoli, there's a lot of people with knives in their hands on video and photos going right behind people too.
Yep, and it's on in the fraternities. Yeah,
that's the best way to get rid of your DNA. Show up.
First responder.
Show up as a first responder. Show up to where somebody has to look at a certain particular body cam to even know there was a puppy.
Oh, Caddy. Caddy says in one of the interviews, she indicated she thought the person she saw was a fireman.
Ain't that nuts?
Isn't that interesting? This is crazy. This is just crazy. I mean,
This guy.
Oh my God.
Who would get? Listen, you okay? Let's think about it. We all saw the body cams. We all saw how the officers treated the young ladies, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
It's very unfortunate, right? Very disrespectful. Treated them like objects. Treated them like treated them like they had power.
Mm-hmm.
You even saw one of them, a girl, young female. Her boyfriend's coming out of a party with her.
Oh, that was terrible.
Yeah, go ahead and go home. We'll make sure she gets home. No, trust me, buddy. Go home. We'll make sure she gets home. And then they talk to her. They know she's obviously way too intoxicated. And then they let her go walk down away from the road and turn the corner off into dark Moscow. You know, we've seen them take photos of people's IDs. Can you imagine? Guess what? You tried to make a pass at somebody because you and your buddies thought that you could get away with anything until you met up with a female that wasn't having your shit anymore. And she knew about your little things and how you used to do them and how you do them because of all the noise complaints at 1122. You know why I think there was so many noise complaints at 1122? Because I think they wanted to show up to keep introducing themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when somebody goes, "Oh, you went too far, buddy. I'm going to report you." Oh, shit. That can ruin your whole career, can it?
Well, they were creepy. They were going around and they didn't even knock on the front door when they said they did in that one video. And they came around and they're looking and they're casing the house. And he's like, "Oh, there's no steps up to the balcony."
Noticing that was odd.
Why do you care? Like, are you the municipal building inspector that you're gonna give them a citation for not having a stairwell? I mean, no, he's a police officer.
What about? I mean, what about the noise complaint? The second time that they came back for that noise complaint when it was really, really dark, I think that was Payne who was shining the light in Xana's eyes, giving her the third degree, like, she had kidnapped the Lindbergh baby or something. That was him. He was like kind of looking at her. No, I mean, she's sleeping, maybe she was on, who knows? But I mean, she's trying to talk to him. He was so rude to her. He was like, I'm not sure if it was, but hey, who else was 5'2" and bald? It seemed like it was him. But I mean, he's like shining the flashlight in her face, and she's standing there, and trying to explain herself. It was very distressing, especially when you think of the next time he saw her, he had to identify her by her, her driver's license.
Well, and just like when I talked to James, remember he grew up in Moscow.
Oh yeah.
He fled Moscow. He talks about, and we all know Christchurch. It's all male dominant. Male have the power. You do what they tell you. If you don't do what they tell you, you get harassed, you get threatened, you get all these negative things to keep your ass in line. And when you look at these police officers, this is what oh my gosh, it's so horrible to even think of the amount of assaults on young females that could have taken place that didn't get reported because everything gets pushed away.
Mm-hmm.
And because they would have been too afraid to say something because they already learned you just don't speak up, because when you speak up, this shit happens to you. You saw what they did to the teacher when the volleyball students were accusing him of all these crimes. You know what they tried to do? They tried to cover it up at first, but then the public pressure got too much. So then they had to, because remember the first interviews, well, we're not exactly sure that's what took place. No, it means you have more than half your damn team saying, look, this coach is doing this to us. You suspend him right off the bat. You don't sit there and go, well, we don't necessarily think that's what took place when you don't even know. And these were people that are working for the university. They're not even investigators.
Yeah.
I feel bad for all these women that could have been assaulted that felt like they didn't have a voice to speak up to hold certain people accountable, because I guarantee you that crap took place up there. Guarantee it, the way that they treated women.
That was my first gut feeling about this case, was that there were police officers that had this perceived disrespect of something, and maybe it was just others. It's asserting their rights as naturally we would do in a situation, and then this time it just got out of hand and the atrocity occurred. But exactly what you're saying, that was my first gut feeling of what happened here.
Well, it's like, you think about the crime taking place, you think about when you look at the injuries, who was really like way more than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? When you have the parents of that victim describing the autopsy as a horrific horror movie, like it was really bad. That person comes back into town. This guy knows that somebody has some information on him. They just came back into town. I need to handle this right away, because I've been worried this whole time since they left recently that I'm going to lose my career, and I've been walking on eggshells with everybody. I could see that being the rage motivation as well. Somebody comes back in town, they know this information about me. It could ruin my I've been walking on eggshells since they left, because it's like, who's gonna come up to me in the next 10 minutes and say, hey man, we just got a report about this. I can imagine the eggshells that whole time you're walking on just to try and keep that secret, because you done fucked up, buddy, and you met a female that was already knowing that she was leaving, so she knew that she had a voice. If she didn't have one before, she knew she had a voice coming up soon. And I wonder if that's what they told Adam. Did you tell Adam about this guy trying to do this with you, Kaylee? Or I mean, Kaylee. Or I mean, Maddie.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's
when she was asking Maddie.
The cops just seemed very they seemed creepy to me, but I just felt it, like when they walk back there and they're waiting for her to come out and they're checking out the house. It's like, well, I don't know. And then that one guy, Hunter, comes out and with her, like he's watching. And I mean, I think Kate felt uncomfortable. I mean, she was kind of like, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know what they were doing in there, but whatever they were doing, I mean, she had to get, I don't know.
I mean, and the thing
you're
about
right.
it was that noise complaint wasn't even for that house. That noise complaint was for the JD house around the corner.
Exactly.
And so he walks and he lied right to her face. He never knocked at the front door. And you say to they got to know they're on body cam. They're being recorded. Aren't they concerned that they're going to get caught right in a bold-faced lie right here?
No, because that was before all of America was looking at him, and they got to do whatever they wanted because the only people looking at him was locals, and that's it. That's it. And yeah, you saw how he came out like he was protecting her, and because then he was like, "Well, what do what are you doing out here?" What, and you saw him walk around and then sit down, and it was obviously not for him, and the officer didn't want to talk to him, and what officer that was doing that call there. And this is what I'm saying, like, I bet you they're at a bar having drinks and like, man, just make up a noise complaint. Say you got a noise complaint, go up there, dude, you got to try and meet her when she's by herself, bro. You got to. I bet you can't do it, Nunez. I bet you can't do it. Oh, I bet if I can, I'm a player. I bet you can't, Nunez. I bet you I can. And then he gets there. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I can clearly see, I think we all have, there's power issues going on there. There's insecurities and there's anger. I can clearly see that in like almost every video that they have released of themselves. And that is just a recipe for disaster. And they're young. All of them are relatively young, all these police officers.
Look at that eyeball. Look at the eyeball and the eyelash right there. There's confidence in that eye. You can tell there's confidence in that eye. I wouldn't be surprised that there's a smirk underneath that photo. What are you so proud of, bro?
So do we know if this picture was taken before or after the unalivings? We don't know.
This was this was in the very beginning when I started digging into this case. Okay, very beginning. I was getting a lot of information that was sent to me. This was a picture that was sent to me because they were looking up some information.
Just look at that.
And this person showed up on their people you might know list in the very beginning.
Would you just look at that?
Because remember when we were looking for Paradise Path? There you go. Before I even knew who this person was. Paradise Path. That's how far back in the beginning we're talking about. Paradise Path.
Just look at those eyebrows.
That right there. I'm looking at the eye, and I'm to me that's an eye with confidence. And you probably have a little smirk underneath that mask. And it makes me wonder, were you trying to brag a little bit? And like I said, with the weapon, when it comes to the sheath, and like you all have said before, it doesn't mean it was the weapon that committed the crime just because the sheath's there. Like I always said, I feel like the sheath and the knife was Maddie's, and Kaylee grabbed it to try and defend her and Maddie because she heard the noises of the person playing with the puppy and didn't know if it was a joke or not. And when it comes to the person, and this is why I feel like this person could be at a barbecue pulling out this K-bar that they snagged from the crime as a souvenir. And they're sitting at that barbecue with all their friends, and it's, hey, that's a cool looking K-bar, buddy. Dang, look at that. And then in that person's mind, they're sitting there going, and what these guys don't know is these blades rip through this and this and this and this and this, and reliving the crime in public, and nobody knows that you're even reliving it. Think about all the people that commit these kind of horrific crimes. They usually have some kind of souvenir that they can relive it because they can't go back to the scene anymore, or they can't relive it because it's gone, right? What do? They like to have items to make them feel that closeness to the crime. Most people are taking a driver's license, maybe some clothing, different things like that. When that person's out at that barbecue, hey, whose ID is that? Oh, never mind. But when they're taking that knife out, and people are like, "Damn, dude, where'd you get that?" "Oh, it was a gift." And the people are like, "Damn, that's really cool. Can I hold it?" And then they don't even know that they're holding the knife that was a souvenir, because what is the best souvenir that you can have if you're going in to commit that kind of crime? You take something from somebody else that they use to try and attack you as their own defense. That's a power move. You not only took the weapon, but they tried to get you with it. And that's another reminder that brings you even closer that you had the power over these people where you didn't even get hurt by this thing. That's a souvenir.
definitely can see it.
You know, I saw somebody posting a picture in Maddie's room, and they said maybe this could be the thing that looked like a vacuum cleaner. And I don't remember who posted it, but
this thing.
It looked like it could be a knife.
Yeah, hold on. I'll show you. Because this got sent to me too. Here, let me move our. I'm sorry. When I seen this, I started laughing my ass off. No, for real. I'm like, this really. You think the dude like?
Well, what is that little vacuum cleaner going to clean up? You'd have to empty it every 5 minutes.
That's why I'm laughing, because I'm like, I mean, who would mistake?
This isn't even the picture that I was talking about.
Oh, it's not. Oh.
It's not, but it's hilarious.
Well, I got this one sent to me, and I just started laughing because I was like, what
are you gonna do with that?
What? Like, what? Like, really? I'm sorry.
The interview room. Maybe it was that one that had that picture.
What? I didn't see it.
Hang on.
That's a weird looking vacuum.
Yeah.
But for real though, it's like I said, you gotta have. Listen, if you're trying to clean up all your DNA, you gotta have that backpack with the Bissell like Ghostbusters, and you're throwing that wand out there like.
I mean, seriously.
Then you flip it back on your backpack. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. And why are you trying to clean up a size 9? Listen. I'm not even 6 foot, and I wear a size 12. I'm thinking Brian Koberger's wearing bigger than a size 9, okay? If I'm wearing size 12, I'm sure dude's like fucking 14, 15 foot. Come on now. Not foot, but size. I don't think so. 9 foot. And you saw, I mean, this is what I've always wondered from the very beginning when we saw him taking out all those items to give to the family. The whole item of the bag of shoes, you know, from all the way back then. Now there's people that have been like, oh my gosh, look at the red stuff. Okay, give me a break. All right. But look, right here, you got a pair of Vans sitting there. Those, I would imagine, because what's the average size of male?
When they're all those bags, they're all Vans.
Well, these are Converse. You got some Converse up here, but these right here are Vans.
Yes, and okay, so I sent you the picture, a screenshot of what they were. The guy was saying that is a. Did you see it? What he's saying that it's a.
Why won't it let me open it in a browser? All right, here we go. Really? That's okay. Hold on. That's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know what I couldn't see.
1 second. That's ridiculous. Really?
Yeah. What is that? Could it be a knife?
No. You know where I think the knife was at?
Where?
This is where I think the knife was at. Hold on. Let me get this photo.
Or is that a doll? Or?
Oh, my God. I think the knife was in this. Right next to the bed. I think it was in this, right next to the bed. If it wasn't in there, I think it was in between the mattresses. But what I do think is that Maddie was too damn passed out, too damn intoxicated to wake up and be coherent. We saw her at the grub truck. Kaylee was damn aware. Even though she was intoxicated, Kaylee was aware. That's why Kaylee, in my opinion, was still on top after she was found. And I really feel like
it was a known thing because I'm sure Maddie brought it up to Kaylee. They're best friends. It probably was something that she's had before Kaylee even moved out.
Is that
Kaylee knew?
So is that a BLOOD stain right there on the mattress?
No, that's a marker.
Oh.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. No, that's a marker. Oh, sorry. No, that's a marker to show where the sheath was at.
Oh, okay.
But the little end table. And with Kaylee living upstairs, hey Kaylee, if something happens and I'm not here, I got a K-bar over in the desk or in between my mattress sheets. So I could see, so I could definitely see it sitting in here. Now, when it comes to this, what the hell is this?
I don't know what it is.
It looks, to me, if I'm looking at this picture, it looks like a sock stretcher.
But it has like a little handle on it.
Yeah.
Do you see the little handle?
I honestly don't know what the F I'm looking at.
Look, it looks like that.
I see the arrow. I just don't know what it is. I mean, it could be a couple things. And
A
one
gun?
of them, this ain't the channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. I don't. How is that? Dude, I don't.
I have bad eyes.
The only thing I can come up with is a sock stretcher. That's it.
Oh my God. What if it's something? Oh, never
I'll take
mind.
a photo. Here,
Sorry. Never mind.
Let me save it real quick so I can zoom in. I mean, I don't know what I'm looking at here. Help me out. Let me see. Let me pull it up. I honestly don't know. If somebody can send me a link or something of something on Amazon. I don't know what I'm looking at. Where
Doesn't
is
it look like that, Busby?
Where in the hell?
Like a throwing.
A what? Oh, Busby knows what it is? Where's this photo? There it is. And what the hell is Chris McDonough show? What? Dude, this is the craziest photo I've ever seen shown as possibly what could be mistaken for the weapon.
The vacuum cleaner. No, for the vacuum cleaner.
The vacuum cleaner. What? Listen, what? You remember Dustbusters, right?
It looks, yeah, but that doesn't look like a vacuum cleaner. It looks like.
That's right. It looks like a sock stretcher. Ooh, that could be a knife.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Wait a minute. Hold on, because let me
look at the handle.
Hold on. Let me go. Because remember, we did see all those crazy looking machetes and all sorts of. Machete was a popular one
it has
around there. Where, yeah, I think it's a whole leather sheath, actually. I don't know what a sock stretcher is, Cece. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think about it. You know, hey, is there a patent? There we go. Because, you know, sometimes your socks are a little tight. You need to stretch them out, right? They cut off your circulation. You got to stretch them out a little bit. You got to sock stretch them.
Yeah, I don't know. That's too thin to be skinny.
Where is that photo? Okay, hold on. Now, wait. There's another thing here. Hold on. Because it makes me want, ever since we knew that they had these, they were going to these, throwing parties and stuff like that. Popular thing up there. I wonder, who says you go to this, throwing thing and you're like, yeah, I want to buy one. Like you go to a bowling alley, you go bowling, you're like, can I get one of those bowling balls? Yeah, sure. Maybe you could get one of these knives. Where in the hell is this picture? Hold on.
Okay, so
where did I put it? It had a whole bunch of. Dang it! I tried doing some organizing today, and now I moved a whole bunch of stuff.
And now you don't know where stuff is.
Yeah, because I was trying to start organizing all my photos and documents and stuff with here from the last couple years. Let me. hold on. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Let me see here. Case files. Idaho. Oh my gosh. I could have swore I put that in a newer folder. But it has all the weapons kind of laid out. And it reminds me of one of these knives. Dang it. I'll find it. Let's see.
Huh.
Just give me a minute. Yeah, I can't read chat while I'm looking. Let me know if somebody knows what the hell it is. Oh, here we go. Okay. Not necessarily like this one. Oh, hold on. Yes, there we go. Okay. Kind of like this, but I think the circle is the circle for it to hang on something. I don't think it's necessarily part of the handle. So if there, hold on, it's gotta be, it's a machete. Hold on, let me look up.
It's not a vacuum, that's for sure.
No, it's a machete. Let me look it up. Because I can't find. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let me zoom it in. Can I zoom it in? Okay, can I have a big, okay. No, I don't want to zoom in on the damn thing. I want, okay. Can I save it? Yes, I can. All right, let me just bring up this photo. This is exactly what I'm talking about here. And this is, let me see. There we go. All right. So let me show this. This is, so picture this upside down, okay? Picture that upside down. Okay. Let me flip it around here. Let me see if I can flip it around. Here we go. Rotate, rotate. Okay. So this is upside down. Now, when we're looking at that photo, that whole cover would be the cover for the whole knife, which you would unzip. And then that circle loop is something for it to be able to hold on to or carry with you. So that sheath is the protection.
Yeah.
And that circle is where you would, yeah, like your finger, your hand.
I sent you something on Discord. Okay. Take a look at it.
Let me see. Well, those are a lot smaller.
But could it be a handle like that?
I just see K-bar handles. Which one are you? It's showing.
Did I?
You wrote Hunter's Knife black cover handle.
Oh, but, sorry. I guess I must have sent you the whole thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I sent you the whole thing. But it's. Yeah, sorry. I didn't know how to send you the just one.
No, let me see.
But they have like here.
Yeah. I don't know. I maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it's a nylon holder. Is that what them things are called that you ladies wear? The fake
or not fake, but it's not like socks or
Stockings, you mean?
Yeah, it's not like long underwear, but it's it's like a mesh thing or whatever. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, stockings. Okay, look at the one I sent you now.
Okay. That's a little stubby guy, but I could see if
But
it was
something
a
like that.
longer. Yeah, let me
Pull it up.
here. So okay, so let's do that. So this is, I mean, yeah, if it was longer, it's definitely not a vacuum.
No, it's not a vacuum.
No.
No.
Here's another one too that that Busby dropped. This one too, but yeah, they're short guys.
Mm-hmm.
And look at this. This is the holder for that knife. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it'd be a knife then.
No, because it's longer and.
But could it be a longer version of a knife like that?
A machete. This is why when I look up a machete, that's what this is the kind of thing, you look at this, right? And you look how it would have a cover. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
How it would have a cover. You look at this photo, if I can go back to that. I wish there was an easier way to switch stuff on here. So you go back to this, you see how it's got so to me, this could be the handle for the cover. This right here would be the start of the handle. See how it bulges?
Mm-hmm.
See how it bulges out right here?
Mm-hmm.
That to me would be the handle. It gets thinner and then it comes back out. To me, that's a machete.
Wow. It certainly doesn't look like a vacuum cleaner.
No, I don't know why. How could anybody think, what kind of vacuum cleaner looks like that? Like, seriously, what vacuum cleaner looks like that?
No, it looks like a knife. It could be what you're saying, yeah. Or it could be one of the ones. I don't know.
I mean, how much are you trying to suck up? Just a couple. No, seriously though.
Just a couple skin cells.
How big is the bag in the damn thing? Or even if it doesn't have a bag, it has a little container. What? You vacuum a small corner with some pencil shavings, and it's full already. Come on now.
That other picture was hilarious.
Look at the cup. This is a cup that's this size.
Mm-hmm.
It's a machete. It's got
interesting.
What were they saying when they were like, "Oh my gosh, look at this vacuum"?
Yeah, they were saying that the interview room just said that there were two items that look like it could be something that looks like a vacuum cleaner. And he showed another item in the room, and then he showed this. And I thought, that's not a vacuum.
They're reaching.
That looks like a knife.
Here, let me.
He was saying that Koberger, that because he's saying Koberger likely took a souvenir, and it could have been the vacuum.
Yeah. Have you ever? This is why I'm like these people are investigators and they're not even making sense. And it's sad because it's like, come on, man, you should have way more fucking common sense than that. So let me.
What's up with Pam? She says, hold on.
What?
I don't know.
Hold on. Let me put this picture of this knife right next to that photo. Where in the hell?
I'm like missing these photos here. There it is. Okay, so let's see. Get rid of the background. Shrink down. 50. Okay, let me shrink it down even more. 50. Okay, let me shrink it down even 75. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try and get it to about the same size of the size that I think it is. Okay.
Oh, to your email. Pam sent you something to your email.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm just about done.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. All right, desktop. I just got to save this real quick. All right, so I can show you what I'm talking about. Stop that. I'll check my email in a second here. All right, so this. Let me see here. So now, open up this picture. All right, here we go. Like that.
Well, that's interesting.
But if you flip it around, so the see this this part right here, that's creating the bulge right there. And then it gets bigger as it goes down, which this gets bigger as it goes down.
That looks interesting. That's interesting.
So
that looks like it.
I should have flipped it, but
it's okay.
I was trying to hurry. All right, let me check my email. Oh my God, the tabs. Hold on. Oh. Okay. So what the ponytail holders? What? Hold on a minute. Okay. Hold on a minute. Let me zoom back into that. Let me save these. Thank you, Pam. Come on now. It won't let me save them. Oh, it's making it go somewhere else. All right, hold on. All right, so there's that. Now let me open up this one. I don't know what this is. Maybe you guys know because I don't. Copy. All right, let me go to my folder. Sorry, I can't see chat while I'm doing this. I haven't been able to for a little bit, so I apologize. Okay, this. Hold on. Paste. All right. So let me pull this up. Thank you, Pam. Let's see. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. All right, we'll keep those up. Now we'll pull this up. Now I don't. Now, so it showed this, right? This. That's what it is, right? Okay. Velvet bracelet holder. Okay. What is this?
There are hair ties.
Hair tie ponytail holders. So are you thinking, Pam? Are you thinking that it's not even a weapon? It's a ponytail holder. We do crimes and conspiracies because we explore everything just out of respect for everybody. I mean, I don't Can anybody say for 100% what that is? I know I couldn't. I'm just thinking about it being a machete, but who knows? It could. I don't know.
I don't know. It's just interesting.
Yeah. So I'm just saying.
Now that I'm looking at it, now I see what Pam is saying.
The
ponytail holders.
Yeah, hold on. Let me go back to it. Is there a... I don't need... See, I never even... That's why I said it was a sock stretcher, because I never even seen or know about anything like this before.
Yeah, I think, the interview room had said that it was like a souvenir, and it kind of looked like a vacuum, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
But I'm surprised that he... I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
That other picture was funny. The one with the little handheld, that little, looks like you clean a dining room table with. That little one.
Yeah, this one. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a vacuum, but it don't look like that thing's hanging on the side of a freaking bracelet holder. What do you need? Like, usually have it in a kitchen or, high traffic areas or something. You're going to have it next to your bracelets. Oh, don't get away. Don't get away from me. I don't understand it. But yeah, all this stuff, even the fact that this person committed the crime was holding a vacuum. Like I said, the latent shoe print, one shoe print, it was like somebody stepped in something and went, oh, shit. I better hurry up and clean that up because I don't want them to know that I stepped in it. But with you thinking that you cleaned it up, thinking that you could clean it up and it's not going to show up after luminol, well, I do have to say I'm not surprised when it comes to their training and handling crime scenes. So maybe they thought, oh, cool. If I clean it up, they won't see it. Okay. I don't know.
It's funny.
Oh, what a show, though. Interesting stuff. Finally, the picture we've all been wondering this whole time for years. I've been wondering this whole time, like, what? Yeah, we know it's 11/22. We know that it's supposed to be the photo of how they got to Koberger, but I'm sorry. These are two different vehicles to me. And I'll definitely be making a short video about it that'll be coming out tomorrow using tonight's footage because it don't make sense and I want to know what other people think. Who knows? But I guarantee there's going to be people that are already going to be looking at this right here because this right here is the tail of your car. And I guarantee people are already going to be scooping and looping to find out how that tail light matches that window. Because even the back window don't match. Even the back window don't match. It's a lot wider.
It looks like a... No, it doesn't.
See what I'm saying? You got back here. Whoops. You got back here. See how it's all pointy like we've all been looking at this whole time, right? Look at the back window over here. It's wider. It's a wider window. That's why I was saying it looks like a hatchback because it's got your front window. It'll have, see how it dips down right here? Here's where your front window and your back window separate. This line right here. There's some kind of, darkened steel or darkened material that the black is matching the windows in. To me, these windows are tinted because if these windows
Yeah.
are tinted, because if they weren't, you would see a silhouette.
Yeah.
Holy hell, what the hell were you typing, Yoli?
Sorry. I didn't mute it.
A book? Holy but I appreciate Kathy. Thank you so much, Kathy, for being on. She had to run a little bit ago. I know it's getting late for you guys. It's already getting late here. I'm definitely going to be back talking more Idaho 4 tomorrow night after this stuff, because there was a lot of stuff we didn't even get to talk about. And plus, I'm going to be wanting to talk more about this photo that's right here, because I don't know. How you can see the same car, I just don't understand. I just don't get it. I really don't. I'm interested to hear, and when I make this video, I'm really interested to hear what people think about when it comes to this car. The one leaving compared to the one coming in. Yeah, it does look like a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. It does. We've studied that back window so much. I could tell. You can tell with the curves going on the side of the body. It's got that body type to it, but the car leaving, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's weird.
I'm already going to be looking into similar models tonight and discussing it tomorrow. I'm not lying. Like, I'm glad that they left us this little bit right here, because that's going to tell us a lot. That little bit. That's not the same car, so. But I'm interested to hear what other people think too, because who knows? Maybe they're seeing something I don't. But when I'm looking at these two cars right here. Yes, this one's a little darker in this picture because of the light exposure from the headlights, but it ain't that far off. And when you're looking at the difference between this car and this car, and this car and this car, I'm sorry. I could, you know what? I'm going to take the photo, and I'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to take this photo and line it up with this one, so you see the cars coming at each other, and you tell me if that's the same freaking car. You're out of your damn mind. You're out of your damn mind. Contribution, call out, crime and conspiracies. Thank you so much for the membership. And I want to say also thank you to Pam from earlier with the $5 super chat. Past and present CJ, superb. Thank you so much. And also to Sea Dog with the $5 super chat. Obviously, Brian, love you guys. And I want to give you guys a little round of applause real quick. And thank you for your contribution, because without you, I couldn't do what I do. So thank you again, everybody. Also, are you debating gray and white? No, I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm gonna analyze these pictures a lot more, and I will tomorrow night. You guys are more than welcome if you want to come back on tomorrow night. I'm gonna be discussing what I think that car is, what color I think it is, and I'm gonna be showing you different pictures to again give you more of an idea visually of what I'm seeing. I just need to look at it a little more. These literally, I got these like maybe 30 minutes before the show started, and I was already running behind. That's why we were a couple minutes late. So I didn't even get to analyze them, but just look at them real quick. Look at the house. Which one? This one? They're two different cars. They're even different heights. That's what. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow talking about this. I think I'm gonna do a Micah show tomorrow morning because I meant to do it today. I just wasn't feeling good, but I'm going to try and do Micah's show tomorrow. I'm definitely coming back for Idaho 4 tomorrow night. I might even start like an hour early because I have a feeling we're going to be getting into a lot more stuff.
Oh, Pam, she says, please come back, panel, if you can.
Yeah, you guys are more than welcome. I'm already letting you guys know. Normally I wait until like earlier in the day to let you all know, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm digging into these photos tonight. I'm gonna be looking at similar models. When it comes to this vehicle already, I'm gonna get the angle for you guys. I'm gonna put it right there for you. I'm gonna crop some of these other photos together just to give, just to give it a better visual without having to like stretch your eyes so much. And I'm going to give you a color. I'm going to give you a color as well. I don't even necessarily think it's gray. I'm going to be honest with you. As of right now, I don't even think it's gray. I think it's almost like it's a bright color, but not bright enough to be gray, because with gray, that also will show up a brighter color. And to me, when it comes to the difference between white and this is telling me it's like a bright color, not necessarily a gray.
Like a green?
Like a green.
There's like a neon green Hyundai that's parked in one of your videos when you're driving around the
that one.
The house. There it is. Oh my God, there's the car. You found it. Could it just be like somebody who lives in the neighborhood driving around? And
yeah, that's what.
Now that you mention it, the green, it kind of does. I mean, my eyes are dry, so I have a hard time.
Yeah, I think it's like a bright, it could be a bright blue, a bright green, a bright, it's something that it's not going to reflect a lot of bright light like a white or a gray would. It's something that kind of diffuses the color a little bit, reflection, when it comes to the light, because it's not a dark color like a navy, but it's kind of like you see this, not that this is the car, but you see like the car right in front of us. It is like a darker gray. It could be a dark gray.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not like a silver, light gray, white car. No way. And you're talking about black and white. Now, there is that little tight fit right there that you can get through. So something like that right there. You see that light bluish color? Something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Like a bluish gray. And
There's,
even, like.
There it is again. The cream one.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. And I appreciate it. But like I said, I don't know. I'm gonna look at it more tonight, look at it more in the morning, kind of get some, and if you guys think that you have listen, I'm gonna be looking like crazy. Maybe you might find something that looks more along to the lines of what I'm looking at. Just pay attention to this right here. We need to know, and look at how short the vehicle is, because it's a short vehicle too. It's a short vehicle, sits low to the ground. What? And thank God they left this, because look, right past that railing, you get a little bit of a snippet of a headlight. But what you can see right here, it's thick where the tail lights are at, but it gets skinnier as it goes in.
I see that.
So we'll have to look at that. We'll discuss it tomorrow. We'll get into it, have different crop photos and stuff for you. I'm going to do a lot of work tonight. So
all right.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night for that. Appreciate you guys. Please hit
all
the
right.
button if you haven't. If you're not.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thanks for having me, CJ. Good to see you, Yoli.
Yeah, it was nice to see you too.
Have a great night, guys.
Yeah, I watch you sometimes, Audrey, but I don't chat. I'm
Aw.
listening.
Well, I love that. Thank you so much. I'm so happy you
Yeah.
stopped by. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
I do. The only places I chat are CJ's and a couple other places, but I don't really chat too much because I'm working during the day.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
There
okay.
you go. Appreciate you guys. You're more than welcome. Just let me know. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Also, subscribe to these lovely ladies as well. And also, I'm going to drop in Indie Zone, Kathy's Indie Zone podcast as well. You definitely got to check out her. She even on her YouTube, she drops a lot of informational videos.
Yeah, it's a quick. If you don't want to have to scroll down all that stuff, she'll give you a quick rundown. And she has the title of the document. So if you don't want to hear that document, you don't have to. So it has a title. So you can just quickly press on it.
And this guy says good night.
Okay,
good night,
good night.
Everybody. Thank you
Good
for
night.
being here.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay over there? Alright, is your victim at the hospital? Someone shot there. Alright, do you see that the same pictures of is it domestic related? She's calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. That was just...
2412.
Someone's calling it, but they have a female veteran communication. Detective 12, take the check one out.
6 Rumble, 2.7.
Also, still stay at the top, you know? Is there a custody? Very simple with it. 6. Anyone else close with this first, let me know.
What are you wiping the windows? Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's nice and shiny.
Well, it's a 78.
Yeah, it's looking good. Looked really good.
Yeah, it's got original paint, too.
Yeah.
People must have put the thing away in its Long Island, New York garage every day of its life.
Oh, go figure. Look at that. Oh, look at that.
$700. It's real clean. You can work on it. It's whatever. The things are not packed real.
Right.
There's still a lot of room to so with
yeah.
Consideration,
right.
You know, I'll go.
You still do it.
Park that 700.
Park that. Look at that. Look at that.
Yes.
Yeah.